Nice.
Oh, it is the pizza guy. Hey, guy.
Tell him to go away. We're waiting on Echo Sound.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
We'll still take the pizza, though.
For all your grain brokerage needs, call Johnston's Grain. They're hyper-focused on finding growers the best price in the market. Johnston's will deliver the best bids in Western Canada on special crops, milling oats, malt barley, feed grains, damaged grains, and much more. When you think about marketing, think Johnston's. Their expertise helps farmers secure the highest prices while avoiding risky buyers. They'll help you structure your contracts in a way that is good for your farm. Call 844-324-7778.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome. Little Thursday Sports Cage action. If you're watching the stream, don't fret. We're going to be getting that going here. That is a still of me. If someone wants to paint that, I'll buy it. It's a side view. Receding hairline's not bad.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
As a bald guy, is that receding hairline okay?
Yeah, that's pretty good hairline, actually. Yeah, you should be pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'd keep that if I were you. Yeah.
It's Barney Shaker,
Loser.
Sharky here. Allen and Colson on the other side of the board. It's a quarterfinal day for Team Canada at the World Juniors. That'll be front and center for us as we get rolling here. We're going to have in hour 3 Regina legend when it comes to the hockey world. How many teams did he totally play on again?
Oh, I want to say it's 16. I want to say it's just
12.
about half.
12. I thought
Is it 12?
11 or
Looking up
12.
today.
Mike Sillinger is going to join us fresh off the golf course at around 5 o'clock. We are hoping. With Silly, you never know.
There's a lot of things
Could
that
be
could
a
go
press. Could be a late press and a couple extra holes on the course. But Mike Sillinger played in the 1991 World Junior in Saskatchewan. We interviewed him on the Monday Nooner years ago when we first started it. He has some really good stories and memories about 91. So that'll be in hour 3. Hour 2, I'm going backwards today. Hour 2 is for Glen Suitor. That's when he's going to pop in today. Talk some CFL. If you have any CFL questions out there that you're kind of curious about right now that you think Glen might be the guy to answer them, shoot him in to the Capital Ford text line, 936-6262, 306-936-6262, Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. Questions for Glen. Also in the program, we are going to talk, like I said, a little World Junior, but WHL hockey, because a trade came down today with the Saskatoon Blades. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes here. But this is the time where teams are starting to move guys. Went to the Pats game last night, played the Moose Jaw Warriors, 2 teams at the bottom of the division. Entertaining hockey game, I thought, for the most part. Pats were down 3-0, came back, tie it up 3-3, and then with like 38 seconds.
Yeah, it was good. 37, yeah.
38 seconds, Rylan Kovakovic. Easy for James Gallo to say.
Yeah.
Scores for Moose Jaw, and they win it. So we'll get that. And then Benny Walchuk in hour 2, the SJHL report. I'm going to tie this all back around with this WHL trades and players being released and all that. And what does Benny know from the SJHL on where some players are going, might be going,
could end up,
all that? Because okay, let's get into it.
Well, the whole hockey world's torn upside down by this NCAA thing. Nobody knows where anybody's going to be anymore. So it'll be interesting to see where everybody pops up.
Yeah. And I was just talking to a guy at the gym today, Craig Ulmer. Shout out Ryan Ulmer from the Pat Canadians, which had a hell of a run.
Wow.
We'll get to that in a bit, the Max. And he was saying, it's interesting. Like, WHL teams, is it going to be an older league? Are they going to, is there going to be the older guys, or going to stay the younger thing? People are thinking both ways of it. What's the guarantee when you sign a kid at 15 to play at 16? Well, some people are saying there's going to be a 2 year. You got to give 2 years. So hypothetically, let's say the phenom around here, speaking of the Circle K, tournament. And did you guys know this? Tournament MVP,
yes.
Maddox Schultz,
as a 14-year-old.
Okay, and people are like, if they don't know hockey out there, kid, perspective here. It is a tournament for 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. A lot of 16 and 17-year-olds. And the American teams had 18-year-olds that are turning, some of them are turning 19 this week. So he's 14. 14 to 19 as an athlete, high performance or not, is a massive jump unless you're like a Romanian gymnast. You want to be older and stronger.
Yes. Yeah. Huge thing. And as you're watching World Juniors and you're seeing the development of the next guys that we're going to watch go on and move on to the National Hockey League, clearly Maddox Schultz is in the World Junior radar, if you will, if not number one on the radar in terms of kids that are coming up. When you win the MVP of that tournament, and the list is long and a lot of ex-NHLers on that list, it is a prestigious tournament to be the best player in. And not only did we get the MVP, we get the best defenseman, Eli Johnson, also from Regina here from the Pats. He's Todd Johnson, coach of the Cougar, his oldest boy. And exciting to see that family have some success at that.
And I think Jonas Sievertson made the second team All-Star.
Yeah.
So littered with Regina Pat Canadians. Good job to the coaching staff. Ryan Hodgins, JP.
Lanny.
Lanny.
Adam Fraser.
Fraz. That's it. Fraz.
Yeah.
You look at that bench when those guys are coaching. You ever see the old picture of Salman Rushdie? You look down the bench and you got Fraz and you got JP because they're bald.
Yep.
And then they have that little bit of facial hair. From the side angle, it looks like one of them could be Salman Rushdie.
It's also a pretty tough bench between Fraz and Haji on there. Yeah. There's a lot of Pims in that crew if things went sideways. So good job by those guys. And all Cougar alumni, by the way, too. All three.
You had to throw that?
I had to throw that in.
Boy.
Yeah. Make sure I get that covered.
Colson?
I managed to quickly grab Maddox Schultz's OT winner here. So if you're watching the stream,
okay,
here we go.
All right.
Look at this. Sideways, in, shield the puck, snap it. And they were, that Pittsburgh team was no joke as well.
No. They
were really good. And they were down 6-3 and came back. You kind of talked about the All-Star teams, and I'm just going through here to look at what kind of names have been an All-Star in that tournament throughout if you go back, Connor Zary played for the Saskatoon Contacts, now with the Calgary Flames.
Calgary, sorry.
Turner Ripplinger, 2015, now with the Southie Marlins.
Doesn't work out well for everybody, just for some.
Good tourney, though, for Rip.
Yeah.
Owen Sillinger. Speaking of Mike Sillinger later in hour 3, Owen Sillinger, is that the middle boy?
Nope.
The oldest?
That's the middle one, yeah. No, oldest.
We'll have to ask Mike.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll know by the end of his golf round. 2014, he was an all-star. Continuing down here to look. Jesse Shinkaruk, Saskatoon Contacts, cousin of mine. He had a heck of a tournament. It was kind of a coming out party. He's now a senior hockey player. Got 5 years of education. Adam Faucheux. That name sounds familiar. If you go back, what's his name's on there too?
Who's that?
Scott Gomez.
Yep.
I think back in the day, when you go back to the 90s.
Played for an Alaska team.
When you go back to the 90s, there's Scott Gomez was 1995. Aaron Schweitzer was the goaltender for the Regina Pat Canadians. Ryan Gauthier, Saskatoon Blazers, had a good dub career. Sheldon Nerjelski. Corey Sarich was a second-teamer from the contacts.
Stanley Cup champion.
It's the year I got suspended. I didn't get to go.
You missed. You missed it.
It hurts.
Is there going to be a long story today?
No, I can't. I hate talking about it.
Oh,
Aaron Miller.
We've all got
an absolute beauty. Where? Yeah, so it's been a who's who of players, and he's 14 years old.
None of those guys were 14.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Like, when did Sidney Crosby play? What year would that have been for... Did he play
Try 93, 92?
No.
Well, he played World Juniors in 95.
I was 95.
Yeah, he played World Juniors in 95.
No, he didn't.
He did.
2005.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Snapperhead.
Hey, the calendar's a big thing.
What year
It's
is
hard
it?
to follow.
Yeah, but it was something special. And then, so the trade today, Western Hockey League, and everyone's like, oh, Blades are announcing something. It's not Tanner Molendyk, who is at the World Junior team getting ready for the quarterfinals against Czechia.
Czechia.
When did it become Czechia instead of Czech Republic?
I don't know.
Does anyone know? And I'm sure it's some sort of governmental thing, and there's not a republic anymore, and yada yada. I'm just this is one of the countries that's really thrown us for a loop over the last 20 years, because we had Czechoslovakia, and then we had Czech Republic and Slovakia, and now the last few years here we're rolling with Czechia as the brand.
Czechia. I'm looking that up.
936-6262 if you know. But the Saskatoon Blades.
July 1st, 2016.
July 1st, 2016.
That's when it was approved. So technically their official name is still the Czech Republic, but one of the other names you can use is Czechia, which apparently they're promoting to be less confusing to English speakers.
They went, I think it was the exact opposite.
Yeah, they missed the boat on that one. Czech Republic was just fine. I don't know why they needed to move
Did you just hear me butcher that name
like
5 times?
Multiple times.
I'm going Czech Republic, just like I'm calling it the Max tournament.
Yes. Showing your age.
And midget and bantam and Adam and Pee-wee.
Yeah.
So the Blades, 20-year-old forward, they get 20-year-old forward Tanner Scott, a 2025 second-round pick, a 2026 second-round pick from the Victoria Royals in exchange for overage winger Brandon Luzowski. And the Blades give a fifth-round pickup. Now, Luzowski, solid. They drafted him, bantam draft. He
nurtured him. Yeah. Loved him.
It's good. They're giving him a chance to go. They're getting a little. They're not getting a lot back.
No,
though. They're getting it. You're getting a 20-year-old. So Tanner Scott is gone next year, regardless. Then they're getting a second-round pick this year and a second-round pick next year.
It's really just a trade of 20-year-olds. It really is.
You're giving a guy. I think you're basically giving a guy a chance to go and win.
Yeah, and Victoria's looking at it as an upgrade in their 20-year-olds to get Luzowski over Tanner Scott. So the draft picks are always a crapshoot, and they trade around draft picks like crazy. What did Walchuk give away last year? All of them, like every single one, to make their deals. Paid off for them. But again, trading draft picks to me is a little bit of, here's some hope and dreams for you. Have a little of this.
Yeah, like it's the 2000. I'm close with the 2010s, so which is this year's Bantam draft. Yep. Watching them play this year with Roman being a first year. So obviously some really good hockey players out there, really strong. It is deeper in Saskatchewan after watching the Sask first. And no offense to anybody here, they're all really good players. The top 160 that were here this weekend, like it's fast and good, and they don't play together. Some of the teams, it's like they would put all 4 guys on a power play from the same team. It's like, well, kinda. I get what you're doing there. And then meanwhile, you got another line where there's a guy with red pants, blue pants, green pants, and they're just slapping it together, right? Yeah. But the defense of the 2010s in Saskatchewan, strong.
You like it, yeah?
Strong. Forwards, it's not as deep as a year like last year. So Maddox Schultz for Team Saskatchewan will have to carry a lot of the mail when they go to the WHL Cup this or next year. Riley Brown from Milestone is another really good forward. plays for NAX.
I think Schultz is going to have no problem with that. After what we've seen from him at the Max tournament, he's got wide shoulders. He can carry it.
Oh, yeah. And so if he doesn't do the exceptional statusing and he does the 34 games in the Western Hockey League next year, which I think he's leaning to. For a hunch, I think that's what he's going to do.
That's your personal thought.
34 games, awesome for him.
I think that's a great move by the Western Hockey League to put that in.
Yeah.
Gives kids the ability to go up and back and maybe get a better feel for where they are. And if their midget team's in trouble down the stretch, they know they're not going to go far or deep in the playoffs. It gives them a chance to go up and play with the WHL team through the playoffs.
Then he can go back to the Max tournament. Technically next year.
Technically, if the Pats got invited, yeah.
And rip it an all-time you-know-what. As a 15. Not even as a 16 or 17-year-old. He can go back as a 15 and walk into that thing like when Kramer had the Technicolor dream coat and he's walking down the street. Just, they'll sell tickets. The Max, I'm sure they ate. Newport's his representation.
Yeah.
They're not dumb.
Nope.
But the Max tournament, Circle K, whatever, they are going to market that.
If he's coming back, they sure will.
You know who's a huge fan? I can't wait to talk to him on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting himself a Maddox Schultz jersey.
Go on.
Eric Francis.
Yeah.
Really? He's already a big fan, is he?
Went and watched he was there the next day in the morning to watch it. He's sending me pictures, updates, everything. Huge fan. Kind of his business, right? That's what he is. And he's smart like that. And I said, go up to Dave. Go up to the dad and introduce yourself. And then they lost, and he was like, well, that's not the right time, all that. And I was texting with Dave, and Dave was like, hey, wish you would have come by. That's big, right? It's Eric Francis. This guy's talking. He's written about players from everywhere, and he is on
the Maddox Schultz train. When do the Patsies play at home again? What's our next home game?
You looked that up. So the Saskatoon Blades make the deal, exchanging 20-year-olds with Victoria. See, the other thing, and I was talking just before I came into the building today with Scott Corral, who likes to chat hockey all the time.
All the time.
Shout out Suitor. And we were talking about the Western Conference in the Western Hockey League is an absolute bloodbath.
It's full. It's right to the top full.
And the rumors that you hear online, you see online and you hear is some of these teams that aren't loading up are wanting to get in the mixer. And I'm talking the Prince Georges, the Tri-City Americans are
why
thinking.
would Prince George not load up? They're right there.
Victoria's loading up. Victoria got the kid yesterday from Wenatchee.
Yep.
I don't want to butcher his. I've been butchering names all day so far.
It's a gift.
But you got Everett, Prince George, Spokane, Victoria, Portland, Tri-City, Vancouver. Wenatchee's holding on to that. But if you stop it at 6 and the Tri-City Americans there, that is going to be so hard to come out of the Western Conference. The Central is no joke as well.
No.
You got Medhat, you got Calgary, and you got Lethbridge.
They're all playing well. They're all doing really well.
No offense to the Eastern Conference. This ain't your year.
No. But it was their year a couple of years ago, right?
It was their year. This year, Eastern Conference, they should just let these teams take the ice out, save the utility bills, and let the Central Division battle it out.
Yeah. Send some kids for some extra training and
hit the breaker.
Yeah. Got no ice. Sorry, can't play tonight.
And you're gonna have if it started right now, I think this is how it works. It's one versus 8.
Yeah.
Medicine Hat, Swift Current. That is a heck of a first round matchup.
Really? Is that our 1-8 in Medicine Hat, Swift Current? Okay.
In the Eastern Conference, but I don't know if that's how it works though. There's some weird. They changed it a few years ago. I should put my foot in my mouth. Okay. I've already hacked up a bunch of names.
Ugh. You got me searching everything in the world online today. Nice.
So Moose
Patsies play January 16th.
Against
at home?
That's their home game.
Oh, that's a good game.
Moose Jaw,
yeah.
Sportscage Live. What day of the week is that?
Thursday. You guys want to go to Patsy's game?
7 o'clock start?
Probably
8 p.m.
Yes, it does no good for us to be there between 3 and 6 because we're going to have, my daughter's team practicing, and you're going to have the fresh smell of the buns from Subway, just making us more hungry.
And then we've got a lot of time to kill before the game starts.
Yeah, and then $10 to get in on the 16th, and those two teams were just at the Circle K. They battled. The last game I was at was awesome. So that's the 16th?
16th. That's the next home game. Yeah.
It's a long time away.
They
2
play
weeks.
in Estevan on the 8th. So that's
Okay.
their next game. But home game.
They're probably a little worn out after the max. They could use the break, I'm sure.
SJHL reports coming up, like we said, with Benny Walchuk in hour 2. It was the Melville-Yorkton New Year's Day
One of the
tangle
beauties.
yesterday in Melville. 7th straight win for Yorkton as they win 7-4. It was Jaron Denwaye led the way, 2 goals, 2 assists to help the Terriers.
They
in
gave
that
you
victory.
they gave you the phonetics for that, didn't they?
Denwaye. I mentioned him earlier this year, and I saw his name, and it's spelled D-K. Here you go, smart Alec. And be honest here, how would you pronounce this last name? Desnoyers.
Yeah. I'm glad they gave you the phonetics. I'd have screwed it up too.
I went Desnoyer.
Yeah. I'd have been Denoye.
Denied.
Denwaye.
So yesterday around the rink, Pats released 20-year-old Ty Spencer
Yep.
from Saskatoon. Just released him. And 20-year-olds are hard. Like,
If you're not going somewhere, it's hard for them to stay engaged and want to be there.
and teams aren't going to give you a lot for a 20 unless it's, I'm trying to think of a 20 that was lights out in the last few years.
Yeah, you're only carrying 320s for your leadership group. You're carrying them for maybe some strength and size. If they're special scorers, if they don't fit into that category, what are you doing? You might as well play somebody young and give them the opportunity. And I'm not saying Spencer didn't do that he didn't give him some scoring. I think he was third on the team in scoring. But again, 20-year-olds need to be exceptional in the room and on the ice. And I don't know if Spencer brought enough in both of those situations. It's not a knock on the young man.
No, I think he did. I think what I would think is the Pats are really young. Can we not lie? Can we look and just be honest here? They want Maddox Schultz. They want that pick. So they want to stay
as low as they can.
Because Edmonton has Moose Jaw's pick and Seattle's.
And both those teams are in the basement.
They are with the Regina Pats in the basement. So the odds are that Edmonton...
They got two cracks at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Regina's there. Now, does Regina say to Edmonton, what do you want to just go away from number one?
They don't have to do it till the lottery balls drop.
Exactly.
Right? So they still could end up in their backyard with the advantage that they need.
Does Edmonton force them to do it before the lottery balls drop?
Oh, I'm sure the conversation's going to take place.
Oh, if I'm Edmonton, I'm like, no.
You want to see my card?
We're doing this before. See those balls over there? If those things go anywhere near that little, I don't even know how. Where if it's a real, like, it makes me want to play bingo. If it's one of those things that flip out, but I would say you do it. You hold the cards.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be tough for the Pats to have him here and not have him part of their organization. Know that he's right in your backyard. Yeah.
Well, then I don't know. Does he play Pat Canadians next year? Or does he go play with NAX if he's property of Edmonton?
I think they would look at him, want to have him closer to home, closer to the operation. Yeah. Whether it's...
Do the Oilers own the Oil Kings?
Yes.
Oh. That isn't a bad thing, though.
So now you're... now you get to meet Connor McDavid and go practice with him every now and then or spend some time with him rather than...
I was on the pec deck next to a McDavid the other day in the gym, and we were talking.
Pretty good kid. Yep.
shout out old Universal pec decks. I don't think the kids
Never
use
saw
them.
one.
I don't think the kids use those anymore.
It'd be tough for Alan Miller to have him in the backyard knowing what he's going to be and not take a crack at him.
And he is smart. He's gonna do everything possible to get him. He's not going to show any cards. If we have him on the program,
No.
why don't you get Al on? Because you think Al's actually going to say something to us about it?
No, not a chance.
He's going to say, I'm not telling those two rubes anything.
They'll figure it out on their own. Yeah.
I'm definitely trying to get Maddox Schultz.
If any GM said they weren't, they'd be lying. Right? They'd be lying.
Pats deal the rights to Dylan Labret to Americans for 2 draft picks. Just came down. So the rights to defense 2007 born Dylan Labret.
Don't the Pats have like 6 picks in the first 2 rounds this year?
They got a lot of picks. And then there's some, like I said, Riley Brown from Milestone. He's going to go high. There's a projection out there somewhere of picks. Riker Doka, not the biggest. He's playing at an academy from Regina. Smooth skating defenseman. Once he grows a bit, he reminds me a lot of Denton Matejchuk last year from the Moose Jaw Warriors. There's probably parents out there right now in hockey, guys, that's just rolling their eyes at me.
What do you do?
I call it like I see it, though.
They got the thing I just pulled up. Schultz is 2 behind a Liam Pugh.
Pugh's the other guy. You're not losing by Edmonton. That's the thing. If Edmonton can get something from the Pats, because you guys need him here. You're getting Pugh, and maybe they say no. We want so and so prospect too. What do the Pats do? You got to. You have to.
You'd really, really want to. Like,
you try and give a pick, but they might say no. We want that 2009 kid over there.
And Maddox Schultz is the only kid from Saskatchewan Midget AAA League in the top 20.
Say that again?
Maddox Schultz is the only kid in this list that I'm looking at from the Midget AAA League that's in the top 20.
Well, because there's no other kids playing in the Midget AAA League.
That's right. Riley Brown is showing his Northern
Alberta. Are you
Alberta
looking at the top prospects
one?
one?
Yeah, top prospects one. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Riley Brown's a good player. Charlie Leonard, I've heard of him. And then the rest of, there's not a lot of Sasky.
No.
After there. And
No.
there's, the Winnipeg kid. Mateo, for that, I can't, I've already butchered my quota of names today. But I've heard of him. Ferreira. Yeah, no, it's that time of the year. So we got Tanner Molendyke. We ran down these, Western and BC and U.S. division teams.
Yep.
And I don't know. I'm having John Keene's coming on the program tomorrow. WHL insider, voice of the Kamloops Blazer from Lanigan, Saskatchewan. He's going to come on. He'll button a lot of this up.
Because when's the deadline? The 10th?
10th.
Yeah.
Or is it the 9th?
We talked about it this morning with Dave, remember? I think it's the 10th.
I just thought it was the 9th. I thought they changed it.
OHL didn't, I think it was.
It's always been that. I thought it was always the 10th.
So then what team has what to give
Saskatoon
for Molendyke? But if PG's in the mix, Tri-City, Spokane.
And I think Molendyke has been the most solid defensive defenseman for Team Canada at the World Juniors.
I like how Caden Price is playing. Not because I know his father.
Yeah. No, he's playing well.
He's playing over what they expected him to do.
But I thought Molendyke was truly the best in their own end. Although he took that penalty chasing the American in the third period. But yeah.
Let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we got some World Junior audio. We'll talk World Juniors. We'll delve into that. And I want to hear about, I want you to put on where's your jacket? If you're watching the stream, you're going to be in for a massive treat right away.
Massive.
Sharky cracked out his 1991 Team Canada jacket because you worked for
the media department. Worked with
Hockey Canada media department.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to have some great stories. It is the all new Sportscage. We are streaming And what are we, like 6 subscribers away from? Please, just tell your friends, your aunties, uncles, cousins, Baba, Guidos, Mushums, Cookums. We need 7 to get to 1,000 on YouTube. It's where we're streaming. You can watch the show. And as always, we are on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op, proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually.
Well, howdy, y'all. Wood Country Woody here. You ever been kissed by your mother-in-law? Brr, nothing chillier than that, except your house when the wind's out of the northwest. Fret not, my friend. It's John's Manville Insulation to the rescue from Wood Country. Insulation so good, even your mom-in-law will thaw a little. Get toasty. Save money. John's Manville Insulation from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Wood-country.com.
Please, sir, can I have some warmth?
Warmth? You want warmth?
You didn't call Busy Bee, did you? Now it's winter and all the homeless rats are getting in.
I wish they had fixed that door then. It's dreadfully cold.
Go over there and eat your gruel. They gave you more. If rats are getting in your garage, just call Busy Bee. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Please, sir.
Shut up. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
I teased it out there. It's Barney, Sharky, Colson, and Alan. And I said, if you're watching the stream, you are in for a treat. Can you flip to his camera?
Thank you.
Sharky's camera.
There we go. Got the scarf.
You got to lift the scarf up a bit.
Got to lift the
They can't
scarf
see
with
it.
the
Put it
logos
close.
on the scarf. Can we see all that?
That is the 1991 team issued jacket. Yeah, stand up. Do a little twirl.
There we go.
Do a little twirl. Just bend down a bit. Down more. More. Now up. Now down. Now up. Just kidding.
Nice.
That is so. The back is unreal.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there remembers the 1991 World Juniors that were in Saskatchewan, it was a big year because Eric Lindros, it was his second year.
You've straightened me out on that already.
They were ranked 1 with Pavel Bure and the USSR.
Yes. Pavel was a Soviet. Yeah.
The Americans had some good talent. Again, I was 13 years old, but I was all over this tournament. And it was so... They had Takla sweaters that you could buy.
Yep.
And every kid in the province, probably under the age of 16 or whatever, had one of those.
And me.
You had one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then because
this is the jacket.
There was kind of Takla's coming out party as well.
I think it was also the end of them, too. They didn't last much longer after this thing.
They made a nice hockey pant.
They did. They did make a nice pant. Yeah.
Stick, not so much.
I don't even remember the sticks.
And a good jersey. Those Canada jerseys slapped, as the kids say.
This I can't even take this jacket to a cleaner. They won't even touch it. They're scared the colors will all run.
Bread cleaners?
Yeah.
Nah.
I'll run it over there. We'll see what happens.
But you spilled ketchup on it today.
Yeah. But
what were you eating that you spilled ketchup on it?
I needed a cheeseburger on the way here. I got the coffee and I was like, cheeseburger would be nice. Dummy. Idiot.
I wish I would have saw that.
Oh, I was so disgusted with myself. Man.
But that is
this is a
sharp.
34-year-old jacket.
And it still fits.
I know.
Not bad. Okay, so give us your rundown of what you actually did at that tournament.
I looked after, so the head media guys, Mike Murray with Hockey Canada, they didn't have the staff or the bodies that they have now. He looked after the team, and I looked after the stuff that prepped for Regina. So when they came down here, they played 2 games here, and I want to say they played Denmark here, maybe Norway. I can't remember for sure, and maybe Sweden. And then looked after feeding him, because in those days, there wasn't the internet or cell phones or anything. You had to pick up a landline or send a smoke signal or some other version of communication with somebody. So I was feeding information to him back in Saskatoon, to the guys sitting by the red phone. And the big night was the night the Finns played the Russians here. Canada needed at least a tie or a Finland win to make sure that they were in a gold medal
January
game.
3rd, 1991.
And Finland did it. They came back and tied the Russians. They were down 5-3, came back and tied it 5-5, I believe. The Brandt Center back then.
Go back. The Finns were up.
No, they were down.
Okay, so someone texted in the other day saying the Finns were actually up in that game.
Might have been early, like 2-1, but in the third period it was 5-3, I believe, for Russia. And the Finns came back with 2 late goals to tie it up because the place was going bananas, like absolutely bananas.
Packed?
No, there was like 3,000 people in there, and they were screaming like there was 20 and screaming for Finland, and made a difference. Finland got the win, and then
Finland got the tie.
Or the tie, sorry. And the next night in Saskatoon was for the gold medal.
That game would have been, I look back, and I was at that game.
So was I.
And it was, thinking that game could have been absolutely who cares.
Oh, it would have been nothing. Had Russia won, it would have meant nothing.
The Finns, massive solid. And I talked about this on Monday, I think, with Harry. What I remember is there's no internet. There are TSN is in its
infancy,
infancy, young TSN, and not everybody had it as a channel because you really had 13 to 20 channels.
That was it,
and you were balling if you had that.
TSN was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was.
If you didn't have to get up to change the channel and you had a remote,
a big deal.
you were from another planet.
Remember the remotes with the wire?
With the cord. I don't, because Mom and Dad made us turn long. No, we're going to ride out the turning thing. It was a trend that was going to come back. And then finally we went straight to no cord remote.
And Beta Vision.
No, we never had a Beta. Never had a bit. Remember when we got our first VHS though? That was a big but we were early in on the microwave because not everyone. Again, that was another thing that not everyone had a microwave. The toaster, throw it in the toaster.
Certain things I remember about that tournament. One, it was ridiculously cold the whole time.
Very cold,
freezing cold the whole time.
Did you hear Eric Lindros the other day?
No.
When we had him on and we played at a Monday Nooner from the Monday Nooner a couple of years ago. We interviewed him. He talked about what he remembers. One of his first memories was when they got to Kindersley, Saskatchewan, as a team for preseason camp skate or pre-tournament, and Mike Craig shows up from Minnesota because he was on loan from the North Stars, and he showed up as a hot dog Fonzie and a jean jacket, and it was minus 35. And then he talked about how you'd come out of the rink after showering and stuff, and your hair was frozen
solid. Yeah. And that was the first time I was in Saskatchewan. The other thing that I remember was really cool about that tournament was there was games all over the place. Like Humboldt had a game, Moose Jaw had a game, PA had a game.
Rosetown, Czechoslovakia beats Norway 11-3 in Rosetown. Prince Albert, Soviet Union, United States, great game.
Would have been an awesome
Communiplex.
game. Yeah.
Gateway Mall would have been buzzing up at that time.
Yeah.
The Imperial 400 would have been a nice...
slide would have been great.
Oh, you have to run outside of the water slide, so I remember the Imperial 400. There's minus 35. Oh, what else would PA have had back in 91 that they don't have anymore? Besides safety.
Venice House was still there. Yeah.
That's a great... at the bottom of the hill?
Yeah.
Great location. 4-2. Where else here? Moose Jaw, Finland, Switzerland. A lot of these games were absolute duds, though. This is, again, we talked about that back in the old World Juniors.
Really, at that time, it was Canada, Russia, maybe Sweden, maybe at that time, Czechoslovakia. Yes. They weren't even the Czech Republic yet. They were maybes. Finland was still on the outs. They were marginal. And Switzerland and Denmark were there, and they were throw-ins. They were just round out to 7 teams.
So, because Rosetown had an 11-3 game.
Yeah.
Moose Jaw had a 7-1 game. Kindersley got Czechoslovakia, Switzerland a 10-0 game. North Battleford, Tropical Inn would have been just a buzz spot.
It would have been new. Very new.
United States, Finland played in North Battleford at the Civic Center. 6-3, United States win. Good hockey game. That PA one would have been next level. Yorkton got the Soviets and Switzerland. Yeah, nice for Yorkton.
No kidding.
10-1. And then Humboldt got United States, Sweden 5-2. And then Prince Albert got a game on the last day. 10-0 Sweden, Norway.
Yeah.
So it was scattered.
It was.
Around. Okay, here, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if they came back here.
Yep.
Saskatchewan's getting the World Junior. This would never happen because it's all a made-for-TV thing now.
It is. And they televise every game.
And they've done a great job of doing it.
Yeah.
But where would you like to see games?
Well, Moose Jaw is a great facility.
For sure, Moose Jaw. PA for sure. I don't mind North Battleford getting one.
I think our 5 Western Hockey League facilities, without a doubt, right?
Swifty.
Yeah. I think you could take a game to Assiniboia in their new barn.
Assiniboia, I don't mind it.
Right?
Here's a great spot for a game.
Go ahead.
Maybe even a Canada preliminary game. When they made the bid the other day, or last year, 2 years ago, whatever, that they lost out in, I gave this idea to somebody that was on the committee. I said, you host one of Canada's pre-tournament games, Ochapowace First Nation. Have you been in that rink?
No. I've seen pictures, but I haven't been in it.
Unbelievable. One of the nicest rinks in the province.
Doesn't set up well for television, probably.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, you get a couple Starlinks out there, boom. You're going for one game, and you'd pack it. It would be an event. It would be...
Because I remember the preseason of that tournament in 91, Norway played the U of R Cougars in Indian Head.
Did they smash them?
Cougs did. Cougs won both.
Norway is one. And where?
Indian Head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, played them out there. There's something else.
Meadow Lake's barn before it burnt down would have been a great place. L'Orange, pretty small, and you're starting to get up there.
That's a long way to go. Melfort.
Kindersley's got a nice barn. Melfort, the Northern Lights Palace.
Easily. Humboldt,
Elger Peterson.
You could easily go there. Kindersley,
Nipawin's new barn? Never been in there.
Do they have a new barn?
I think so. Don't they?
I don't think so.
Can someone look up Nipawin's?
Google up, please. Yeah. Get our Google team on it.
Fantastic golf course.
But it is. It's a great golf course. I think...
I like the Assiniboia play.
The TV thing takes a lot of that. It would make it difficult for those TV guys to move that all around. They like when they're set up and they're in one spot and they go in the trucks there and everything's fine. It's simple. And easy.
Yeah, it's not easy to move those dome trucks around.
No, that's complicated. But I think it would be a very entertaining piece. The teams would all complain. Somebody complained they got a crappy dressing room or crappy environment or crappy facility or they didn't like it, right? They're even complaining in Ottawa when they're playing in the 67s rink instead of playing in the Canadian Tire facility. So, or is it Canadian Tire or is it Scotiabank?
In Ottawa?
Tire.
Yeah, it's Canadian Tire, isn't it?
I'd have to check. But Nipawin's has had renovations. They haven't had
it's still
rebuild.
the old one.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got some new locker rooms, lobby, and a new scoreboard in the last couple of years.
But
we kind of hit them all, though, unless we're missing a rink that...
Melville's new one, maybe?
Oh, that's a good call.
Melville's new barn?
Sorry, everybody in Melville.
Yeah.
Love that barn.
The other thing that... Like I spent a little slow at work today. Spent a whole bunch of time looking at the World Juniors besides this pool.
Having a pre-afternoon cheeseburger.
So looking at who's coming up? So we know that Kazakhstan's getting relegated. Denmark's coming back up.
Oh, I went down this rabbit hole the other day, man.
Oh, I got into like Tier 3 Division C.
Yeah, Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yeah, playing Chinese Taipei and Rwanda.
What a clash that is.
Yeah. Taiwan.
I don't think Rwanda is in it.
They're in it. They're in like pool.
Oh, did I delete that?
I'm going to go look at it.
Up? It's nuts, though. How many different countries are participating in the World Junior Hockey? It's great to see. I know a guy from Saskatoon, my age. He's been, I don't know, forever. Kind of Facebook friends.
Yep.
He's in Dubai or Arab Emirates, and he's part of like the hockey program there.
Yeah.
And they travel everywhere and play, and some of the rinks they play in, like they're in malls and stuff. It is so cool looking.
It's cool.
It is so cool looking.
Hockey's a little questionable.
Got
but
something,
it's cool.
Coulson?
Rwanda's never had a team.
Okay. Oh, no, South Africa. It was South Africa.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it was Rwanda, a little bit of a stretch.
Hang on. Division 1 Group B, that's in Lithuania.
Yeah. Lithuania moving up?
No, it hasn't been played. It doesn't get played till April. That's got Estonia, Poland, France, Lithuania, Korea.
It's wild how deep it goes.
It is. It's bizarre.
And then back in like 91, to get this back on track, it was Norway was the team that moved up. They got smashed.
Yeah.
I remember being at the first game on December 26, Canada, Switzerland. What I remember was Paulie Yaks in net for Switzerland. Again, stopped like 75 shots.
Yeah.
Canada won 6-0.
I don't think Swiss had 20 shots on goal.
No, Canada was that. So there, that's where Harry and I were talking on Monday. Like how much this tournament has changed for the good as a fan of the game. If you want to watch good hockey, like what Latvia did this year. Latvia they were 1 goal away from tying it up with Sweden today and forcing it into overtime.
And first off, give Latvia a lot of credit. They've got some great young players at Matejko that Washington's got. I think he's going to be in the National Hockey League, if not as a 21-year-old. He's going to be excited. Can he shoot? Holy smokes, can that kid shoot? And that goaltender, and he's playing in the Quebec League, so I think you'll see more of that. And we've already seen that come along where the imports come over here and play and then go back and play for their home countries. That goaltender out of the Quebec League has been...
Feldsberg?
He's been the difference for them. Like, literally, to me, he's probably the best goaltender in the tournament.
He's going to be our clutch performer for Nick's service later.
I like what we're doing.
Throw some stats at you on that one.
I like where we're going.
Coulson, you got something?
I was just trying to look up the World Juniors tournament because there's also the World Championship too. And that one's got 5 divisions that runs deep. The World Juniors runs 4 divisions deep.
Yeah.
So
way deeper than you think. Okay, I'm going to the very bottom one. Division 4.
Chinese Taipei, is that the one there?
No. That's world. That's hockey. I want juniors. Okay, World Man.
Division 3, World Juniors, is Chinese Taipei, New Zealand, Bulgaria, Turkey, Mexico, Bosnia, Herzegovina. That's Group A. Bosnia is dropping down to Group B. They're being replaced by Thailand, who is playing with South Africa and Luxembourg and Kyrgyzstan. I can never pronounce that one right.
Kyrgyzstan.
If you
that one.
Kyrgyzstan. If you're from Kyrgyzstan, please help us with the explanation.
6262, Capital Fort Lincoln.
Yeah.
Text line. It's Canada and the Czech Republic. We're still allowed to call it that. This evening in the quarterfinals, I got Canada -1.5, and I went heavy on it. Take a quick break. We come back. We will hear from the head coach of Team Canada, Dave Cameron. Interesting comment yesterday or 2 days ago. Very interesting comment. See all new Sportscage streaming at sportscage.com.
Don't be caught without proper grain storage this fall. Winter is here, and now is the best time to pre-book your new grain bin from Core Grain. Prepare now and ensure your farm is ready for the harvest rush. Lock in your plans and prices today and let them handle the rest. Affordable, efficient, and just what your farm needs. Proudly serving Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Call them now at 866-812-1622 or visit coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
It's Power Bill Day.
This is Tim.
Hooray, hooray, it's Power Bill Day.
Tim loves getting his monthly power bill because Tim's power bill is teeny. Tim has a residential solar system from Keln Solar. It powers his home and excess power is sent back to the grid for credits on his Sask power bill.
Give me those savings. Yeah.
Get a teeny tiny power bill.
Just like me. Woo!
Get a quote on a Keln Solar residential solar system at kelnsolar.com.
Let Degelman Industries help you manage snow with the lightning-fast Degelman Speed Blade. With the ability to hydraulically position the wings up to 15 feet wide. And at whatever angle you want, the Degelman Speed Blade moves snow 5 times faster than a conventional plow alone. It quickly and easily adapts to a variety of wheel loaders, skid steers, and most ag tractors. It's a versatile tool that has a perfect fit on any farmyard. Visit Degelman.com for more information. Degelman, engineered tough.
The snow is here, and now is the time to ensure your cargo trailer, flat deck, or dump trailer is ready for winter. Take it to Affordable Trailer Sales. No matter what brand or trailer you have, the Affordable team can repair them all. Their fully stocked parts department allows them to service your trailer quickly, and their fully trained service technicians ensure the job is done right the first time. Don't be left stranded on the side of the road in the cold. Book your appointment today with Affordable Trailer Sales, Highway 1 West, South Service Road, affordabletrailersales.ca.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
So the thing, Team Canada, Czech Republic tonight, that so many people are losing their minds over, and rightly so, because it's hockey, it's Canada, the World Juniors, is they haven't scored. They can't score. They can't score. I would even take it one step further. They can't hit the net. Which is hard to do in hockey nowadays. So the next time you're yelling at the TV and you haven't shoot, it's different. Guys are blocking shots everywhere with every part of their body. It is so hard to get a shot through in good hockey nowadays.
Well, I think Latvia did it the best. They just clogged that slot up so much that the Canadians, I don't think, took a shot inside of 8 feet or 10 feet on that goaltender. Everything was from the outside. Everything was from the perimeter. They were trying to blast it through.
NHL playoffs. Just watch that.
Crash on the goaltender.
Head coach Dave Cameron had this to say after their loss to the Americans.
Dave, what was the difference tonight?
What do you think?
How are you going to address the discipline issue moving forward?
Can't. In terms of I can't address it, they know it. They know the penalties are penalties. You talk all you want, the short tournament. They have to decide. It's as simple as that.
You send a message by benching guys or limiting ice
time?
Sure,
term is too short for that. Right? That's the thing about a tournament. You can't start benching. Everybody takes a penalty. Now it's too long. They have to decide. It's an individual thing. It's a character thing. They have to decide, and I think they will. I'm pretty sure they will. I mean, they've been dangling there, and they really got burned tonight. And I think lesson learned.
Okay, here we go. As a coach, as a guy that's coached pretty good hockey, what do you think about those comments?
Well, it's interesting that you brought that up because I was thinking about this all day. Cowan's penalty to me is the worst one. It is away from the play. It's not part of the play. He's going out of his way to try and lay a licking on somebody. It costs Canada. It's a huge goal. Cowan gets embarrassed by it. And then he puts him back out late in the game when they're looking for that goal. So Easton, Cowan, in my mind, should not have gone back out at that point. He lost the message to his team that that's unacceptable. Because they look down the bench and they go, hey, if he can run a guy and get sent back out, what am I doing?
Way better coach than I'll ever be. He's got all of his credentials.
Yeah.
Obviously, to coach in this, he needed. It's too short of a tournament to bench guys. Maybe that is true. Maybe that is right. Maybe. It's also too short of a tournament to not score and have your team an absolute dumpster fire.
It's too short of a turn to let something like that get away, because that spark will ignite a bomb and it's gone. You can't get it back. So he whatever he's going to say to them in the room and whatever he's going to preach to them. And again, Canada's got what, 7 goals against and 5 are shorthanded? Like they're all on the PK. They need to do a better job on their PK, and the way you do a better job on your PK is not take penalties.
Berkeley Catton from Saskatoon is actually not an underage, but
he's 18.
He can play in this next year.
Yep.
Gavin McKenna can play in this another 2 years.
Yep.
They've been leaned on, I think, more than anyone thought, to be the offensive push here.
Well, they've carried some of that load or carried some of that opportunity. The other one that's impressed me the most is how he's using Tanner Howe and Braden Yager. They're his first 2 on the penalty kill. They've done a great job on the PK. It's the second group on the PK that's let the goals in, not the first group.
Berkeley Catton had this to say about this game tonight. He wasn't there last year, but even though he wasn't, they remember.
This is a huge game, and obviously tough watching your country lose in the quarterfinals. So I think the guys in the room that were there last year are using that as fuel, and the guys who watched it, same. So we're ready to go for that.
Very mature kid. I got to know Berkeley a little bit this summer. His dad's a great guy, an old fiery senior hockey weapon from back in the day. Comes from good family. It's amazing how much they have used Berkeley and Gavin to speak to the media as young guys.
They have.
That's what I've been kind of like, where's Yager? Throw a mic in front of Price's face.
Yeah, they
Cowan.
haven't. Cowan's been invisible from a media standpoint.
Maybe tonight's the breakout. I took a -1.5. Cool bet. See what it's gone down or what the odds are. Canada, -135. Canada 1.5. -1.5. I'm all day.
All right.
You're going to explode.
I'm following you.
Explode. Time for a quick break. Hour 2. After news, Glen Suitor, fire in your questions. Any Suits questions, CFL-wise? We'll also have the SJHL report. It is the Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's mostly sunny and it's -22 in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op, proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina. For those who can, Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. An inmate who escaped a federal prison in Saskatchewan is facing new charges after police say he fled officers. Glen was serving a nearly 3-year sentence at the Saskatchewan Penitentiary in Prince Albert when staff noticed that he was missing on New Year's Eve. RCMP say that he was spotted by officers the next day in the driver's seat of a vehicle at a home on Little Red River. Mounties say officers approached the vehicle, but it sped past the police cruiser and hit its side. Halkett, 29, is now charged with fleeing from a police officer, dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, and driving while prohibited, along with charges of escaping custody and being unlawfully at large. Sightings and information can be reported to police or Crime Stoppers. Halkett is described as 5 foot 8 inches tall, 168 pounds, with brown eyes, black hair, a fair complexion, and tattoos on his neck and under his left eye. Many Canadians will be waiting to hear what Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's future holds when he returns from vacation this week.
The calls for him to step down as Liberal leader have been growing ever since Chrystia Freeland's shock exit from cabinet last month. If Trudeau does resign, it would trigger a Liberal leadership race. He's consistently said he plans to stay on. MPs are set to return to the House of Commons near the end of the month, but Trudeau could instead prorogue Parliament, ending all House business until the government is ready to return with a new throne speech. The Conservatives, Bloc Québécois, and NDP have all said they're ready to bring down the Liberal government through a non-confidence vote. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
China is slamming Canada for its criticism of Beijing's human rights record, accusing the country of hypocrisy. The country's state media has been repeatedly calling out Canada since Ottawa sanctioned 8 Chinese officials last month who are being accused of grave human rights violations against ethnic and religious minorities. Last month, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said Canada's Indigenous people still face systemic racial discrimination and unfair treatment, noting Canada chooses to smear and vilify other countries instead of dealing with it. And there's new information about the driver of a vehicle that exploded outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. Sheriff Kevin McMahill says the suspect was an active duty soldier.
He was indeed in the United States Army. He was also a Green Beret operations sergeant who spent most of his time at Fort Carson, Colorado, and in Germany. He was on approved leave from Germany, where he was serving with the 10th Special Forces Group.
Authorities say the driver died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound before the truck blew up, a blast that injured 7 other people. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Hockey is back, and what better way to kick off the season than a visit to Extreme Hockey and Sports? Check out the Bauer Fit Lab for your custom skate fitting. And stay tuned for the new shooting lane to provide customers with the best shopping experience as possible. And off the ice, look great. Visit their umbrella marketing professionals for all your team and corporate apparel. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
0% financing on Bronco Sport, 0% financing on Ford F-150, 0% financing on Ford Escapes. You see the trend here? Future Ford has 0% financing on their huge selection of new vehicles. The 2024 has to go, and they need to make sure they have room for all the 25s they have coming. I know what you're thinking. 0%? What else can you do? How about free oil changes at any Ford dealership in Canada and half-price extended warranty? Check out their inventory at futureford.ca or visit them at Future Ford in Melville today.
And now it's time for your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast for Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of minus 29. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of minus 24. And on Saturday, partly sunny and a high of minus 20. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy, winds from the northwest at 11, and it's minus 19. Regina is mostly sunny, winds are from the west at 13, and it's minus 22. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street. Take a short drive to save big at Watrous Mainline GM. Watrous Mainline GM has an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles in stock, and they're ready to make you a deal. And don't forget, Watrous Mainline GM wants your trade. They'll pay top dollar for your vehicle, any make, any model. Get out of the city and take a drive to where the deals are. Get your new ride at Watrous Mainline GM, your GM superstore since 1962.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Hour 2 program on this Thursday. Barney Shinkaruk, Sharky, Colson, and Allen. We got Glen Suitor standing by. We're going to get to him in a bit. Don't forget, the NFL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Usually there's Thursday night football. But if you went in there today and the college football game's on right now, probably still be able to get a $1 off tankard Bud Light or Bud Heavy. Details, CanadianBrewHouse.com. 2 locations in Regina, 1 in Moose Jaw. It'd be a great place to watch the game this evening.
Be a great spot, yeah.
This evening, Canada, Czechnia. Did I say it right?
No.
What?
You keep adding an N.
There's no N. It's just Czechia.
There. So you should that. You guys, that's to be a better teacher. You should have told me that last hour.
It's our
Just
fault.
Get rid of the N.
It's our fault.
Yeah, I got to blame somebody. Like Millie Vanilli
It's
said.
not the student. It's the
Got to
teacher.
blame it on something. Yeah, but it'd be a good place to watch the game. No SJHL games in the area tonight. Don't forget SJHL report for Southey Mainline Chrysler with Benny Walchuk will come up in about 40 minutes time here on this show. I'm curious if there's any moves made in the SJHL with players.
Their date's coming up too. They got to get their stuff done.
Is that the Regina Pat that got released? Will he end up in the SJHL? I wonder.
I wonder if we can source. Leave that to me. I'm doing some work.
Source it out, buddy.
Yep.
Let's go. We are going Western Pizza. Speaking of, if you're staying at home tonight, it's minus 35. You don't want to cook. Order yourself a wheel or any of the Greek favorites from Western Pizza in and around the area. They also got the pickup special. Western Pizza guest hotline. It's press coverage with Glen Suitor. Suits, will you be watching the World Junior game this evening out there in Vancouver?
I will be, and I watched the U.S. game and was really engaged, guys, with your discussion on coaching decisions when it comes to discipline with Team Canada. And, you know, I in my short period of coaching minor hockey, which was probably a 7-year stint when my kid was playing here in Vancouver. And, you know, I thought it was an interesting comment where the coach of Team Canada says that the tournament's not long enough. You know, I would agree with you guys on the discussion because it is long enough. And if you have made discipline your emphasis early on, in fact, before game one, and you say, hey, guys, we won't tolerate the lack of discipline, and then you bench a kid, or not even for a whole game, but he skips a couple of shifts, or maybe doesn't play on the power play where he used to play, he gets that lesson quickly. I mean, that's when you take playing time away from a kid, especially on that stage, that message gets immediately heard from the entire team. Plus, and here's what I think a lot of coaches forget, it also gives an opportunity to a kid who might not have been on the power play, and how excited is he for this chance to maybe go out and show the coach and show the country that, hey, this kid that was going to be sort of the third power play if they needed him, he's getting an opportunity all of a sudden, and he's going to go full out, and let's see what he can do. So I'm with you guys, man. I think there should have been ramifications in that game against the U.S.
Did you ever have to bench Jared?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there was one time he took his $800 stick or whatever they are. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh hey, he doesn't. I do. I do. Where's my wallet?
Exactly. So he's skating backwards. It's almost like a one-on-one situation, and the guy goes around him. Jared was a defenseman for us, and guy goes around him and scores. So he's upset, and he hits his stick across the crossbar. Now, I talked to the kids at the very beginning of camp about discipline and how that kind of reaction, whether you have been mistreated or you've taken a cheap shot or you've been scored on, to react like that is just a temper tantrum. It's not competitive. It's not competitive to hit your stick or punch the wall or anything like that. So, he does it, not to mention the $600 or whatever it is. I didn't bring that up, but I sat him down. I mean, no power plays. He's our point guy. He was our guy on the power play from the back end. And I said, you're sitting until I tell you different.
My kids
and it didn't take long, guys. The message was loud and clear.
My kids would know what is up, never to do, because you know where they get that though from too, and goalies are bad for it, but players are bad in the NHL. Yep. They just blast the stick. Well, yeah, they're not paying for it.
No, it doesn't come out of their wallet or mom and dad's.
I'm even to the point where before the game, which is really cool. What a lot of teams do, they do it in the Western Hockey League even now. The benches stand up before the first face-off, and there's the guys are lining up and they bang their stick on the board to get, and it's great. They do it in all levels of hockey now. I had to get this through to my daughter the other day because she's sitting there brand new Bauer bang, and then I'm sitting on the other end of the ice and I'm like, Gabby, what are you doing? And then so I said, hey, I told Roman this a couple of years ago. Kick the living crap out of whatever you want down there with your toe of your skate.
That's fine.
I said, make it look like you're slapping the boards with your stick. Use your foot, please. Because those little things, any kind of crack. She got it, though.
Yeah.
Smart gal. I'm like, yeah. And then, any little crack, we don't need it. I reached out, or I sent it out to the listeners, if anyone had any questions today for Glen Suitor when it comes to CFL and what we're going to go through. And first one here, Roscoe, shout out. I think Roscoe's in Kindersley.
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm there coming to your town on Saturday, Roscoe. He wants to know, ask Glen, what can the CFL do to correct missed calls or calls that were called and not? Also, speeding up the reviews.
What can they do so a call is made on the field, but it was incorrect? Is that what he means?
I think what he's talking about is what you see in the NFL a lot of times, where they are quickly working behind the scenes and they're radioing it down to the ref, and they're like, they're going to pick up that flag. Sure enough, they pick up that flag. Or, they might make a call here on head contact or whatever. I think it would just be a manpower thing. I don't know. Floor is yours, Glenn.
Well, in the CFL, they do that. The command center can talk in real time to the on-field officials, and quite often they will tell them to pick a flag up if they know exactly what the flag was thrown for, and they could see that it was a mistake or a miss. They could tell them just pick it up. Do
you think it's quick enough? Do you think they're doing that quick enough?
No. One of my, it's a great point, because one of my sort of pet peeves with the league, and I've talked many times to Darren Hackwood, the head of officials, about this, that, when I watch the NFL, one of the big differences is how quickly they can make the calls, especially the 5-yard offsides and procedures and things like that. I mean, those really should not hold up the game. The NFL does an excellent job of making the announcement before we even know where the ball is going to be placed. Like, they are just immediately flags out. They turn around. They don't have to walk. We've been telling officials from a TV point of view that in order to make the announcement on a penalty, you don't have to walk to a space in the field. We can get you with our cameras no matter where you are. So if there's a penalty flag that hits the floor, just say it. Just say what the penalty is, move the ball, and let's keep playing so it's not a disruption in the game flow. And, I think they're improving, and they have improved over the last couple of years. Darren is certainly aware of it. But it still can get better. It's not as good as the NFL. The NFL, there's a flag out, the call is made, and they move on before you really know what happened. And when it comes to reviews, guys, that's the other part of the question. I was really behind, and I'll say my opinion has evolved on this, because I was behind replay when it came to pass interference. I thought pass interference, either offensive or defensive, is so punitive because it's a point of ball foul. So it could be a 70-yard penalty. And that sometimes is a penalty that can't be overcome. So it changes the game. And when you have that, I thought, replay would give the chance to get it right more times than not. The problem with it is that I've found over the last 5 years has been that it's still another opinion, that there's so much subjectivity to pass interference. If you're an offensive mind or a defensive minded guy, you look at those plays differently. And so does the command center, different than the on-field officials. So now I'm leaning more and more all the time towards getting rid of replay altogether. I really am. I just think unless it's in or out of bounds, fumble or no fumble. I mean, other than that, I think subjective penalties, we maybe should just scrap it.
Well, you've answered the question I was going to have for you, Glenn, and that's related to the official in the booth passing that information down to the officials on the field. Is that something we really want? Is somebody watching the game from the sky and being the official making the decision?
Not to change, not necessarily to change a penalty or to add a penalty, for sure not to add a penalty. If a penalty is missed on the field, I think the guys watching from command center or even in the park from the booth should not be calling penalties from there, because they don't have the perspective of the field level. And that will mean that some penalties are missed. But I think fans, I certainly know coaches, definitely players, are okay with a missed penalty. I mean, there's 24 guys on the field in our league, and it happens every play somewhere. So as long as it's not right at the point of attack, as long as it's not blatant, leave the flag in your back pocket. So don't create a call from the booth. But if there is a clear miss, the guy didn't catch it or whatever, and it was just a blocked angle and it's obvious, I'm not sure. I don't have a problem really of the guys just helping them in that. And when it's the small ones like offside for 5 yards, and they say actually the defense moved first, guys, not the offense, fine, no problem.
I agree with you that we should get rid of the replays. I've had enough of them. I don't want to see them anymore. I don't, like you say, I don't mind for a fumble or, is he in or out of bounds? But we're getting all these replays and they're delaying the game. They're delaying the whole process. They're delaying the entertainment value to the product if you're sitting waiting 5 minutes for something to happen.
See, it shouldn't. Chakai. It shouldn't be 5 minutes. Like,
but it is.
I think it's a manpower thing. It's if the guys. Okay, let's say you got the four of us, Rubes, that are in this room right now. We're watching a football game. Alan, Colson, you, and me. Okay? And then there's the refs on the field. Call is made wrong. Alan's a professional. He's been around looking at it. Colson's looking at it. You're maybe looking at something different. I'm watching Glen and the guys on TSN to see what they have to say. Now you got a group of 10 people, basically, because you're using the guys on TSN as well. I think that's what they do in the NFL. They listen to the Joe Bucks and the Troy Aikmans. They have a guy in that booth listening to them as well as knowing the other guys. And then it's boom, and it's like 45 seconds max, and they're back at it. I don't understand why it has to take so long. Maybe
I don't either. Yeah.
Again, guys, I get to the subjectivity of it, where you have a penalty that is a matter of perspective. So perspective on the field, you see it from a different angle. You've also got the flow of the game when you're on the field. The game might be more physical. We've seen playoff hockey is different than regular season hockey. And the officials on the ice, they allow that to happen because of the difference between playoffs and regular season. So the players understand that change. And sometimes there's a game that's more physical, or the refs are letting more go than they would the week before. So we have to allow that to happen organically on the field, and not from Toronto or a replay booth come in and be part of that decision when you don't have that same feel from there. You're just going from the standard. And that only really affects in a negative way to me, and takes longer when it's subjective. Is it pass interference? Is it not? Was it roughing the passer? Was it not? Those are subjective calls at times that, you get all the opinions going, and that's where it takes a long time. Listen, I've said it this way, and I really believe that officials should look at it like this. Because if they pull their flag out of their pocket, they are now possibly affecting the outcome of the football game. Players want to affect, and players should be affecting the outcome, not officials. So if an official throws a penalty and we all see a replay of it immediately, and we go, oh yeah, no question that was a penalty, like we did when Canada played the USA. I mean, you can cheer for Canada all you want. Those are just bad decisions. And, it's when we all see it and it's obvious, that should be a split-second decision from the booth. Guys, it's obvious. It's a penalty. No problem. Let's go. Move on. Call it. But the debate and the check of the standard, and is it the same as we called last? I mean, it just gets too wrapped up and too involved, and that's what takes the time.
Okay, let's move on from this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you.
I legit, we could sit here.
Yeah.
We could take this straight over across the street to the tavern and continue.
And still get the same result.
Yeah. No, we'd get more animated. We'd get louder. Loudest guy would win. Hey, news in BC today, coaching staff wise, we got Mike Benavides is in as the DC. Ryan Phillips getting demoted. And it looks like Kelly Bates, Sasky weapon from Humboldt, Saskatchewan, is out.
I don't know about the decision with Kelly, but that is an interesting one when you talk about the demotion. I would say that both Mike Benavides and Ryan Phillips, who was the defensive coordinator in Vancouver, both of those guys last year probably worked together. They were, 1 and 1A as far as the DC goes. So I don't think this is a major kind of shift in that approach. Except for Benny will be calling it from the sideline, I'm sure. I mean, if you get the DC title, then you're calling the defenses from the sideline or the booth, and so it's not a shift that drastic of a shift. It is a demotion for Ryan. There's no question, but that defense underachieved, so I'm not surprised to see it. There's three categories really of of teams in the CFL now with the coaches. You've got the two that are going to start the season with new head coaches, and that's BC and Edmonton. And then you've got another category like Saskatchewan, where you have 4 teams, Saskatchewan, Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal, that are going back with basically their coaching staffs intact. And then you have Calgary, Hamilton, and Winnipeg, who are looking at new coordinators on certain sides of the ball, basically all looking for defensive coordinators. So, or changes there, I should say. So, when you think of that, and an OC in Winnipeg, when you think of that, there should be an advantage for those 4 teams to start the season anyway, because they don't have to bring in new systems. It's Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, and Saskatchewan. They don't need to bring in and teach a new system in training camp. They should be, a week ahead of the Calgarys, the Hamiltons, and certainly BC and Edmonton, who are trying to reset the standard completely on their teams. So, yeah, it's 3 different categories, really.
Okay, my last question for you is if right now, as we are into 2025, second day of January, hard to believe, what team do you feel has, if you were going to grade teams, who's had the best offseason as far as structuring their staff?
I'm for consistency, especially when you've shown growth, and so Saskatchewan would be in that category. I think Montreal will hit the ground running in training camp. Their first day is going to be big. The Grey Cup champion Argos, those teams that I mentioned, out of those 4 teams, Ottawa's probably got more questions to answer, and they'll have more pressure on them because this coaching staff with Bob Dice leading the group has had a couple of years now to build it, and they haven't got there yet. So I would say Saskatchewan and Montreal, Toronto have a chance to really start on the fly in training camp early here. Edmonton and BC are going to be, how do these teams respond to their new head coaches, their new coordinators? How does Nathan Rourke in Vancouver work with Buck Pierce and a Winnipeg style of offense? Who is the Nick Dembski in BC's, formation when now Buck is there, and Nick was so important in his offense in Winnipeg. And, Calgary's looking at new coordinators. So, and so is Hamilton, and Winnipeg hasn't even named their OC yet. And we got the draft coming up soon and things like that, free agency. So they've got to get on that.
Toronto quarterbacks. Where are we at with this scenario in Toronto?
Arbuckle.
But are they bringing back Kelly? Or are they waiting to see if he's healthy?
As far as I know, they'll see exactly where he is physically. Yeah, I mean, he should be able to be back fairly close to the start of the season, if maybe not training camp. I haven't heard an update on that on a medical report there, but yeah, I think the intent is to get him back healthy and get him back to starting lineup.
Okay, one more from our fine listeners on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Travis in Regina says, with the news of the Red Blacks' plans for a new North Side stands, positive in my mind, he says, can the Stamps maybe do this at McMahon? Is this an option for a league or team, doing one side at a time, or is McMahon too far gone?
No, I think it's first of all, a great location. One of the great benefits of the Calgary situation for me is walking through that parking lot and see all the tailgating going on. Calgary and Hamilton have outstanding tailgating before games in the summer, and I'll
be the judge of that when I go.
It is good. You check it out, Barney, because it's really good. I wish I could have a beverage or two, but as I'm walking to work often, I'll go down and say hi to a lot of the guys that are tailgating down there and ladies and talk some football. But I think absolutely, to answer the question, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I would suggest that, we've even gone through the model where in Vancouver, for instance, when there was renovations and new, the stadium changing, they played in a temporary field for a while, and they played down at the P&E in Vancouver. And the temporary stadium for a year or two to bridge new renovations, to me, is well worth it. And you can pack those houses and get a brand new stadium with new boxes and things like that to sell. Yeah, I think Calgary has got to look at it. They've got to look at it.
All right. Well, put your best Team Canada gear on tonight. Cheer loud. Remember when you were at Sharky, man? Sharky, you should see this jacket he has, Glenn. Get up and stand up and put it on for the man.
All right, hang on.
This is his from 1991 World Juniors when they were in Saskatchewan. He worked for Hockey Canada on the media side, and this is a legendary parka.
There we go. There we go.
Oh,
isn't that nice?
That.
This should come. It is so nice that they could come out with that next year in a retro form, and they would sell a whack of them.
All right,
I love it.
There's
I
a
love
marketing
it.
tip.
In fact, if you're traveling to Europe, you are set because there's no question what country you come from.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy will drink with us. He's from Canada. Yeah.
Get him a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome, Glenn. Thanks, buddy. Thanks so much.
Okay, go Team Canada. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go. That is Glen Suitor in press coverage, and that is Sharky in his awesome
91 tackle.
If you're watching the stream, how close are we now to 1,000, boys?
We're one away.
Come on, someone out. Be the 1,000th. Be the 1,000th. We need one more subscriber on YouTube to get to 1,000. One.
Come on.
I'll tell you how we got to 999 on the break. Friend of mine.
Oh, right on.
Love it.
See it happen. See what happens when you have friends, Sharky?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
They reach. All right, let's take a quick break. Still got a little SJHL report coming up in this hour. More World Junior talk and stories and a lot of fun. So you're always welcome to jump in on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line at 936-6262. You know what I want? Actually, pause. Before we go to break, let's get this out of the way. Clutch Performer.
Okay.
For Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. You call the fine folks at Nick Service, 781-1077. I don't know if you guys have one, but I am going with the goaltender from Latvia, Feldsbergs.
Excellent choice.
Get this. Colson looked this up for me. I confirmed it. 176 shots in 4 games.
100 what?
He faced 176 pieces of rubber
in the first 4
in 4 games. Isn't it cut?
That's
crazy.
That's a lot of rubber. Yeah.
What
that's
is it?
A lot of time.
.926 save percentage.
I'm not saying he can play, but have a look at him.
We will be talking about this guy for just what he did at the tournament, even if he doesn't go on. But we talked to Dave King on Monday. Go back and listen to anything that we've done this week in podcast form. Shout out Senator Denise Batters, who loved the Eric Lindros piece that we had.
Nice.
But Dave King said, Latvia's got really good goaltending. They got something going on there. And you look back, was it Arturs Urbe?
It is Arturs Urbe. Nicely done.
Ever tell you my Urbe story?
No. I look forward to it.
After the break.
All right.
It's the all-new Sportscage. Race to 1,000 subscribers. We got it?
We got it?
Hey! Thank you very much, everybody out there.
Are we going to say
even if you don't like us, thank you so much. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That was short. It was short and sweet, and we got there. Now it's a race to 2,000. That's all it is.
We're going for 2.
We start right now, boys, to 1,000. It's the all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
When the Saskatchewan weather turns cold, you can turn to Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling for water heater and water softener rentals. Bronco is back to renting water heaters and water softeners, so you can set your mind at ease when the colder weather hits. Bronco will send the best qualified and professional tradespeople who will take care of all the maintenance for you, so you can enjoy a hot shower with soft water. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Since 1978. Call 781-2090. Learn more at broncoplumbing.com. They treat you right.
Some will try to tell you 8 inches is enough. Others will say 10 inches will do. But when you want a lot of pizza, you gotta hanker down with a delicious 13-inch pepperoni from Western Pizza. Why mess with a good thing? You know what you want. 13 inches of pepperoni pizza perfection from Western Pizza. Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
I feel like we should have some like cheesy montage music and slow motion pictures of us getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's just a radio program.
Like dancing around like in a Seinfeld episode?
No. More like Chariots of Fire.
You want us running on the beach?
You know where that was filmed?
No.
St. Andrews, Scotland.
Really?
The beach right by the golf course. We always, both times
nobody tripped over a ball.
Both times we went there, we were like, we got to go out tonight and do that on the beach. Yeah, give me another pint of Tennent's. And it never ended up happening. Okay, so the Archers Urbe story.
Okay.
In Phoenix, Arizona, 1996. America West Arena, downtown. That's where the Coyotes played their first few years. Great barn for hockey. They used to pack it. That's why when people are like, Phoenix is not a hockey city.
They did.
It's like, it's pretty wicked. And it was downtown, and it was like a place to go. And they had Roenick. They had Kachuk.
Well, they had some better players that were more entertaining
Tempo
to watch.
Numanen.
Yeah.
Oleg Tevernovsky, which was just an absolute liability, but he was so good offensively on the back end. And then, so the one game we went down, my billet had season tickets. It was about a 2-hour drive for us. And it was the Dallas Stars. And guess who my favorite hockey player ever is?
Mike Modano.
Mike Modano. Got to go down with the fellas. So we load up, go down, and this is the first year. They didn't really, the security was really loose. It wasn't the Phoenix Suns weren't playing, right? And Charles Barkley. It was the hockey team. So we wait around after, and I think I had something for him to sign. I don't know if it was a hockey card or whatever. And I'm like, I kind of want to just meet Mike, but tell him I'm from Sasky, loved you with the Raiders. So we kind of wait by the Zamboni in the stands, and West Side kid, kind of know. I'm like, there's no one here. And I'm like, well, let's just keep walking. So we kind of walk underneath. All of a sudden, it's all like it's Keith Kachuk. I'll remember this. Bud Light used to have the clear bottles, and they're a big sponsor of the NHL.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He had the clear Bud Light, which made me want to drink it. It just looks like the clear bottle, like Miller Genuine Draft nowadays. Yep. And then the other one was an empty one, and he had a massive dinger in as a spitter. And then Roenick was down there, and it was like all the Coyotes and their wives and Pan or
just hanging around,
Puck Bunny, whatever they were. And then we're just kind of walking, and I'm like, just act like you've been here before.
Yep.
And then so we kind of go, and we're going to this elevator, and I'm like, there he is, Mike Modano. And I'm like, hey, Mike, sort of bother you, can get an autograph. Loved you when you were at the PA Raiders. He goes, what? He goes, what? And I said, I'm from Saskatoon. I said, used to watch you. You're my favorite player. He's like, wow. He said, that's cool. And I'm like, yeah, got cabin at Waskasiu, family, been up there, love PA, lots of friends. He's like, wow, this conversation, right? And it totally threw him for a loop. So then we go up the elevator, and there's like 4 or 5 of us. All of a sudden, this little guy gets in behind, very Eastern European looking, and shorter than any of us. I look, and I'm like, that is Archers Urbe.
That's
the goalie. And I'm like, hey, you're Archers Urbe, the goalie. He goes, yes. He goes, hey, guys, how's it going? He goes, hey. I remember this exactly how it sounded. He goes, so, how does it feel to have hockey in Phoenix? And I said, it's awesome. I said, but I am from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. His head almost exploded. He was like, what? He goes, like, why are you here? What is it? And I said, long story, but he was so small.
He was like 5'7",
but so good.
Yeah,
and he used that same. I read something just a little while ago on him. A Latvian goaltender Archers, he used the same gear. He wouldn't change his gear.
No, he had like the oldest looking pads.
That
horsehide pads that he wore forever.
Again, like you see better gear at the ODR wherever you are right now.
Kids are better dressed.
But these Latvian goaltenders and this Latvian goaltender that did it for Latvia, they were close with the Swedes again today. Yeah, they got outshot, but
he gave them a chance every game. Every game.
Feldsbergs?
That's our player of the week. Or
I'm 0 for 13 on names today. So let's
brutal.
just add that one and Czechia.
There's a lot of good Mike Modano stories from this part of the world.
He was so good.
He was.
Could just fly. No one really has ever made the jersey do that. What Mike?
They can hang out the back like a
weird.
flag.
Someone needs to do an ESPN 30 for 30 on why Modano's jersey was the only one that ever kind of.
Do you think he had a bigger one?
That. I love that you're still wearing the jacket. Just noticed that. Speaking of awesome attire,
it's getting warm. I'm not going to lie to you.
Can I borrow that one day?
Sure.
And where's the scarf?
It's right here.
Yeah, that's great. Because it was, we had Greg on the other day from Piffle's podcast, and he's from Moosomin, and he was talking about minor hockey. He remembers the 1991 World Juniors because they gave all minor hockey kids the little skate towel with all the countries on it and the logo. And I was like, I don't think we ever got that in Saskatoon with the Bobcats. And then I started thinking it, and I'm like, that thing is I think it's in my mom's basement in a box, and it's got pins on it. I used it at collecting pins.
Yeah, I had all the pins on this flag too, or on the scarf at one time.
You would be pin on flag guy.
Well, you didn't
hanging out at the patch or the beer gardens, whatever it was.
Often the guys would just come up from the different countries, and of course I had the Hockey Canada stuff on. Would often offer that stuff to you.
They thought you were a big deal.
Thought I was a big deal. Nothing. I'm the backup media guy.
Which instrumental in making that call after Finland and Russia tied.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. Yeah, and then had to boogie up to Saskatoon for the gold medal game.
Cold.
It was cold.
How did you get up there? What vehicle?
Drove up.
What kind of vehicle?
Oh, what was I driving back then? I think I already got rid of the Camaro. Yeah.
You would be winter Camaro guy too.
You didn't have a choice in those days. You had one car. Just out of university. Yeah.
And that's what you went with. You went in Saskatchewan? That's kind of something stupid that I would have done too.
I drove it for like 5 years going to university.
No winter tires, real drive.
Yeah. Spun out everywhere.
Like you think about it going back. You probably drove it to senior games.
Yep. Drove it everywhere.
Oh, we were dumb. We are dumb.
It was one cool car though. Oh, I miss that car.
Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to get SJHL going here. We're going to get the SJHL report with Benny Walchuk. He's going to join us. It is the all-new Sportscage. Thank you, everybody. We're over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Big day.
It is a big day.
We'll always remember this day, January 2nd, 2025. The all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
Have you been out to the new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer? That's Southie Mainline Chrysler, the newest king of trucks, just 30 minutes north of Regina. They're the small town feel with bigger than city discounts where customers show up and leave feeling like family. With the selection of the entire Mainline Automotive Group, it will be tough for them not to find you your perfect vehicle at the best price in Saskatchewan. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes from Regina. It's worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Get your equipment out of the rain and snow and under the roof of a new storage building from Olympic Buildings. Have a warm, dry place to work and keep everything out of the cold. Olympic Buildings. Buildings to meet your budget. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League report on the all-new Sportscage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Southie Mainline, the Mainline Automotive Group's newest king of trucks. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive, every time. Guaranteed.
Yeah, the heavy rock music means Benny Walchuk is in the house in the SJHL report for Southie Mainline Chrysler, new king of trucks. There he is. What's it say on that hoodie there? We're trying to look because it's can't. Oh, that is a sharp. Oh, commish.
Like it.
Commish.
I had to kick it and scream to get this thing. So he's like, I may have to wear something for the report, and he finally got me. So I think this is a hand-me-down he probably got, but I'll take it.
I just started my kicking and screaming because I think that's a nice hoodie, and then you're complimenting it with the blue Titleist hat. Beautiful. Okay, Benny. So a couple of games the last few days here in the Highway 10 clash. Yorkton and Melville. Yorkton wins both. Yorkton's starting to separate here.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. First off, just hats off to the crowds. 1,800 people, over 1,800 people in Yorkton, over 1,700 people in Melville. I think 50-50 in Melville was over $6,000 to the winner. So it was just a great turnout for the New Year's Day home and home, which it is each and every year. And yeah, it was a tale of a couple of games, kind of similar games. Melville got up to a 1-goal leads. Yorkton come back. Melville on New Year's Day was able to come back or get up top by 1 goal. Then Yorkton comes back as well. It showed how good their offense can be. I know Keenan Ingram's up to 17 goals. Jaron Denwye, their captain's up to 17 goals. This shows what their offense can do. And like you said, they're trying to separate themselves up the Viterra division standings, and they've done so right now with a couple of big wins.
Yeah, because as it stands right now, it's been an interesting year. Front runners, Yorkton had the losing of the points early in the year, which is a great storyline. Melfort's kind of been, the class of the league again. But it's one of those seasons, no offense to Trevor Blevins up in Melfort, who I absolutely love. But it's one of those seasons that I feel that it's going to be that team that's grinding right now. Maybe they're 10 points out. Maybe it is the Kindersley Clippers who got to go on a long road stint here. Maybe it is Humboldt's going to find. So I don't know the league well enough, but something, Benny, just strikes me that it's going to be one of those teams.
Yeah, exactly. Like me said, Melfort and Yorkton are playing well right now. Are they going to be a playoff team down the stretch? Probably, but who knows what happens. You said teams that grind their way down the second half of the season, playing playoff hockey since maybe January or February. Yeah. Those are the teams that kind of elevate themselves at the right time in March and April. But Kindersley, like you said, has a very long road stretch. L'Orange is playing every game on the road in January, which I don't know who schedules it. There's a crazy schedule for some of these teams. I know the curling's happening in Kindersley, but L'Orange plays every game in January on the road. They played every game in November at home. So it's crazy how it is. Humboldt is finding their groove as well, because Braden Comasco's come in there, and that's not quite his team he took over since coming over from Battleford. So he's trying to tinker his roster a little bit and trying to put his game structure in there as well. So, it's going to be very, very very
I'd like to know what's going on in L'Orange. Did they get the boot for that rink? Maybe a big craft fair?
Yeah.
that rink doesn't.
Ice fishing expose? What do we got going on?
Well, they usually have to go on 4 games and 5-night road trips just because how long they are. So they usually do like Malville, Yorkton, Weyburn, Estevan, something like that. So that takes up 5 or 6 days. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on at the Mel Hagelin Uniplex here in January.
Hey, as we are now. Are they on the same deadline as Western Hockey League? Are they January 10th if they got to have everything finalized up?
Yeah, January 10th at 5 o'clock. And then you have a chance to add free agents till February 12th to 15th, depending how much cards you have. You have to be up to 25 cards. So January 10th. And I think actually the Western Hockey League is going back to January 9th, just so that teams can have a chance to acquire guys that day and then move and have them play on the Friday, because January 10th ends up on a Friday. And I believe, I'm not sure if confirmed, don't quote me on it, but I think I seen something that it's January 9th that the WHL deadline.
You might have been right, Arnie. Didn't you call the 9th?
Yeah.
I said the 10th?
Yeah.
We got to put a mark on the wall on this day. Not only get 1,000 subscribers, but Barney was correct. So it's a big day.
It doesn't happen very often. You're right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen very often. Do you expect any big moves? Having said that, do you expect any big moves by teams as we get closer to the deadline in terms of players moving around?
I think there'll be a few. I think a lot of teams, even MJHL where I call as well, it's a lot of teams are buying because it's so tight right now. You might have the Notre Dames, you might have the Nipawins, or even a L'Orange, depending where they want to go, if they might be sell a few guys off. But I think a lot of teams are going to be going out of league, maybe to the Ontario leagues or AJHL or something to add some players. Melfort, I don't think Melfort's going to be a whole lot busy. I think they're going to stand pat, Kindersley's going to decide if they're going to go for it and try to make playoffs or sell off some of their 20-year-olds. And then you have Yorkton and Weyburn trying to tinker. They both of those teams going to need to get a little bit tougher and add some additions to their back end. So I think it's going to be a quieter one, but I think some teams are still looking to add some big names. I know some big names that some teams are not in the playoffs right now that could be added to some very, very good teams already.
Have you heard anything about Ty Spencer?
I have not heard anything about Ty Spencer as of yet, but stay tuned. Very, very interesting to see what happens. I know Braden Jockham's just got released from Portland. He's a Saskatoon kid. I think Nipawin had his rights as well, so we'll see what happens with him too.
That's the thing. Nipawin's rebuild time.
Yeah,
they're young, but you get a 20-year-old like that. Nipawin's all of a sudden like, hey, yeah, well, we'll kick you the rights to him.
Yeah,
we want that 18 and 19-year-old guy over there that's been twirling.
Then Madden Mulaka he's with Regina now. He played with the Pats yesterday, I believe. He was Melford's backup, so I'm not sure if Melford will be in the market for some insurance and that too. So,
well, they'll get Huey back from World Juniors. So
that's true.
Or does Huey go over and play pro
in Switzerland,
anywhere around there?
Could stay. Yeah.
There's so much unknown, and the 20-year-old thing, WHL, I find is where some of these teams, and I kind of love
especially
that
if you're out of the mix. If you're out of the mix, right? It might be time to let the younger guys play. You can release the 20-year-old. He's still got a chance to play somewhere.
And some of these coaches in the SJ, if it's anything like back in the day that I remember, like if you got some relationships, if you're a big relationship guy. No,
it is. Oh, it's totally relationships.
And then you got the BCHL sniffing around. Exactly. They got briefcases of money out there allegedly.
Their deadline's end of February too. So you trade a guy January 10th, you have a whole month and a half to try to keep him around because they could come and poach him anytime they want in that month.
Wow. That's a tidbit.
Now, is that still going on? Is BC still poaching guys after? Because I've heard that a lot of their players have left and gone to the Western Hockey League. There was I heard a few. I heard 66.
Yeah. Brooks Bandits lost both of their goalies over the Christmas break, and they went and got a guy from the OJHL, I believe, in Ontario, and another guy from another league. And then they took Steinbach Pistons, who were the top team in MJHL, Shane Burns, Brooks Bandits now. They took him over the break as well. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and Quebec's been the big winner out of those guys coming back.
Yeah.
The Q League. Yeah, 66 guys have gone back to Major Junior. From Junior A.
From BC.
From the BC League.
That I had no idea it was that many. So it's that many Quebec players.
Quebec and Ontario guys. Yeah, that now are going back because they want to play at that level, and they can. And so they're taking advantage of that to go home.
That's real interesting. We get fired. Okay. Worth the drive, every time guaranteed, to Southey, Saskatchewan, new king of trucks, Southey Mainline Chrysler. We're waiting for the new January offers. I'm sure it'll be coming soon. But what is the worth the drive game of the week from Benny Walchuk as we get fired up here again in 2025?
Oh, this is an interesting one. First off, Saturday, I'm going to go Weyburn Estevan, the Highway 39 rivalry. Then on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock puck drop in Yorkton. Yorkton Terriers hosting the Weyburn Red Wings for Viterra Division Showdown, battle for top spot. So I'm going to go with that one. As the Malville and Yorkton have a crazy schedule. They're going to play 4 games here this week before even teams play their first game out of the holiday break. So it's a high-end tech and high busy schedule here for the Yorkton Terriers. They only have one rink right now at the Kinsman Arena, so they had to have to play a lot of games on the road. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here in the second stretch here with a lot of divisional games.
Weyburn Yorkton, 3 p.m. Sunday. Church is done. Probably hit the chalet for a little brunch and then go watch some afternoon puck. I like it, Ben. All right, boss.
I'm picturing you in church.
Travel safe. You picture me at the chalet for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Crushing pierogies and gravy. Awesome, Benny. Thanks so much. Always a pleasure.
Sounds good, guys. Happy New Year. Take care.
Take care.
Go Canada. Benny Walchuk, SJHL report again for Southey Mainline Chrysler, new king of trucks, Southey, Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed.
I wanted to ask him, why is Klamosko out of Battleford? And I missed this. When did he leave Battleford and go to Humboldt?
A while ago. Yeah. When you were well before you spilled ketchup on your jacket.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We're running up. Are we breaking? Yeah, we're going to break.
We're breaking?
Or do you want to go straight into news?
All right.
Okay. Break time. Sportscage streaming at sportscage.com.
Hun, I'm starving. What do we have to eat?
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza. I really don't feel like cooking today.
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
I want lasagna.
I was thinking Caesar salad and garlic bread.
I had my heart set on chicken wings.
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
Avoid the annoyed with Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
Western pizza.
This winter, make sure you have tires that are ready to handle the snowy and icy roads and get them at Quality Tire. If you don't have winter tires, this is the time to get them. At 7 degrees Celsius, the rubber on all season tires start to harden in the cold. With winter tires, you'll be able to stop sooner and avoid the accident in front of you. And start driving quicker in case the car behind you doesn't have winter tires from Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca. We're turning up the heat on trades at Capital GMC. Get into a new vehicle and keep your payment low with the $2,500 trade-in bonus. We're talking payments as low as $299 bi-weekly plus tax for a brand new Sierra. Or get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle complete with manufacturer's warranty, roadside assistance, and more. Plus, Capital's 100K giveaway is back. Check out Capital100K.ca for your chance to win. Turning up the heat on trades at Capital GMC. Proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sports Cage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
We got some major action going down downtown Regina, January 2nd. Cops and thanks Warren Hamilton, possibly it says, that sent in the video. Rose Street down, 430, 4 police, 2 fire engines, EMS, ambulance, 1700 block. There's
Could be anything.
Well, yeah, but play the odds. Something's not good. Something not good.
Something went sideways.
Freezing cold out. And you got, thanks to all of, I know this is like cheesy and it's said everywhere, but first responders, police, fire, EMS. Thanks for everything you do, especially in weather like this. Like, bravo.
Nothing but
you
respect.
guys. Nothing but respect. Hour 3, Mike Sillinger is going to join us.
Yes.
Relive some 1991 World Junior memories. It'll be fun to talk to Silly. I also wanted to mention, have you been following the curling at all?
Curling? What curling?
The Canadian Mixed is going on out there in Nova Scotia.
I'm still celebrating the Canadian Seniors win by the Bryden boys.
Yeah, we have Saskatchewan's Ryan Kleider and Rylan Kleider and Brittany Tran. They have qualified for the playoffs. I'm just going to scroll down here and see how the playoffs are going to shake down. I think it fires tonight. They do that. This is where curling gets weird to me. Like the page playoff, and it's the 1-2, and then the 3-4, and then that. It's like a dance.
It is a bit of a dance. It is a bit of a dance.
When the Briar was here last year, man, was that fun.
It was a good time.
And we did the show live.
We did.
We got to know each other that week.
We cuddled.
Went to the Patch.
We did.
Food truck and some beers.
Loved that part. Yeah. Loved the food truck.
Yeah, so Tran and Kleider dumped Papley and Van Amsterdam. Great last name. Great handle. 8-6. So the Page 1-2 qualifier this evening, Tran Kleider against Weigel and Epping, and then Peterman and Gallant against Homan and Botcher. So
Botcher's where's
Peterman
representing?
Peterman is back from his trip to the Congo.
From Thailand.
Elaine! No, where did he go the one time? It's Miramar. It'll always be, what does he say? Seinfeld fans out there, help me out.
Burma? Was it Burma? Burma.
Yeah.
Burma.
The voodoo rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Oh, Peterman, what a beautician that guy is. Are we up against the clock, boys? Hour 3 coming up. We did everything that we needed to do. College football semifinal that was postponed because of the tragedy in New Orleans is on right now. Is it 3-0 at half?
So we see.
I'm just the biggest TV in the room here.
Yeah.
No one's been paying attention to the score. Georgia, Notre Dame. It is 13-3 Notre Dame at half. My 1.5 bet on Georgia ain't looking too good. Speaking of that, senior hockey report coming up on Friday.
Love that.
Coolbet.co. If you go to Coolbet, you can check out. They got senior hockey lines for this weekend. They added the Long Lake League as
Did
well.
they?
Some good leagues in there. World Juniors this evening. I got Canada minus 1.5. They're going to explode on the Czech Republic, also known as Czechia.
To some people.
Said it twice right now.
Yeah.
I got rid of the N.
To some people.
Good teachers.
Yeah.
Got rid of the N. All
Nice work. Nice work on that.
Mike Sillinger after the 5 o'clock news. You are watching the
Listening?
Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com and listening on our friend 620 CKRM.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. It's mostly cloudy and it's minus 22 in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Regina police responded to a weapons offense involving a firearm yesterday afternoon at a business on the 2200 block of Victoria Avenue. 2 suspects were seen outside with a firearm and one attempted to rob a victim but was unsuccessful. Officers arrived shortly after and arrested the suspects nearby. A search revealed an imitation firearm was used in the incident. A 34-year-old Regina man and a 31-year-old Edmonton woman were charged with robbery. Both appeared in provincial court this morning. Warman RCMP responded to a fatal collision on Highway 12 near Highway 305 on New Year's Eve. At 5:25 p.m., a semi and an SUV collided, resulting in the deaths of a 29-year-old woman and a 40-year-old man, both from Saskatoon. EMS declared both SUV occupants deceased at the scene, while the semi driver was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Highway 12 was briefly closed, but has since reopened. RCMP continued to investigate with assistance from a collision reconstructionist. Canada's WestJet and Air Canada have finished at the bottom of the pack in an annual ranking that was released today that records airlines' on-time arrivals from all over the world.
An airline data provider is naming Delta as the best U.S. airline for being on time. Despite a computer outage in July that forced thousands of cancellations, Delta Airlines is the top U.S. carrier and third worldwide when it comes to flights being on time. The data group Cirium says Delta's rating is 83%. United Airlines came in at nearly 81%, and Alaska Airlines third in the U.S. with just over 79%. Globally, Mexican airline Aeromexico ranked best. Nearly 87% of its flights were on time. Saudia ranked second worldwide. Cirium officials say with severe weather patterns and this past summer's technology outage, the airlines that performed well deserve credit. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau returns from vacation this week, and many Canadians will be waiting to hear what his future holds. Calls for him to step down as Liberal leader have been growing ever since Chrystia Freeland's bombshell resignation from cabinet last month. If Trudeau does resign, it would trigger a Liberal leadership race. Meanwhile, the Conservatives, Bloc Québécois, and NDP have all said they're ready to bring down the Liberal government through a non-confidence vote. And Alan Hawco is back on the case in his new CBC cop drama, St. Pierre. The Canadian actor, who stars in St. Pierre as Inspector Donnie Fitzpatrick, says his new series has a much darker tone than its predecessor, Republic of Doyle, that wrapped in 2014.
The basic concept, I think, is a very different show. Like, I'm also not a 30. I'm not playing some roguish guy with a car, chasing bad guys. Like, that would be, I think I would look quite foolish if that was something I was presenting for myself right now. In this case, Fitz has more maturity, he's more sophisticated, he has more baggage, and he's lived quite a full life.
St. Pierre premieres Monday. It's 5:03, and that was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Oh, finally. There it is.
Whoa, did you order pizza?
No, even better. I called Echo Sound, your SJHL authorized dealer.
Oh, so what'd you order?
Well, they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features and so many great plans, man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it is the pizza guy. Hey, guy.
Tell him to go away. We're waiting on Echo Sound.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Quepel. EchoSound.ca.
We'll still take the pizza, though.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, brought to you by Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. And for Matt's Furniture, visit mattsfurniture.ca. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Partly cloudy sky for the night. We've still seen some periods of extra cloudiness at times, and that risk continues through the night, but little to no chance for any flurries to hold together. Temperatures dropping off overnight to around minus 29. Back to minus 24 through the day on Friday. It's going to be a mainly sunny sky, though some of that scattered cloudiness in the morning may take a little while to thin out, but we'll have a decent afternoon and a light wind too, so cold, but little additional cold from the wind chill. Clear sky falling back to around or even below minus 30 for Friday night, and a mainly sunny sky on Saturday mixes with a few clouds through the afternoon. We'll average partly sunny over the course of the day. The high back up to around minus 20. Still cold, but less drastic. Cloudiness increases and thickens up through the day on Sunday. Some light snow developing with a high of minus 18. And that snow continues into Monday, producing minor amounts, mostly just a coating to a centimeter or two. Temperature on Monday at minus 14. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is minus 20, Swift Current minus 20, Assiniboia minus 18, Broadview Moosomin minus 20, Yorkton Melville minus 20, Estevan minus 20, and Weyburn is minus 21. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's mostly cloudy, winds from the northwest at 14, and it's minus 19. Regina is mostly cloudy, winds from the northwest at 15, and it's minus 22. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you big money at Matt's Furniture. Now till January 8th, save more with their Boxing Day sale. Save more with the Maytag front-load washer with extra power and 16-hour fresh hold option for $1,349. Or the Maytag front-load electric dryer with extra power and quick dry cycle for just $1,149. Upgrade your kitchen with the Whirlpool freestanding electric range with true convection for just $1,399. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Last hour of the show on this Thursday. It's Barney Shinker, Sharky, Colson, and Allen on the Sports Cage. If you want to know what's going on in the college football playoff game that's on right now, that was postponed yesterday, running today, Notre Dame just took back the opening kickoff of the second half and now opened up a 20-3 lead on Georgia. So my bet is not looking fantastic right now. Georgia is stalling. Notre Dame looks really good. Speaking of betting, did you place a bet for tonight's game, Canada and Czech Republic?
I took Canada.
Just money line or the cover?
Money line.
I got them -1.5. I think they're going to explode. Let's talk World Junior. We've been teeing this up all day. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. There's never been a better night for Western Pizza. It's too cold. Order some za. Watch the hockey game with your loved ones or the Greek favorites they love. It's not cold where this guy is. Apparently, He just got off the golf course. Mike Sillinger joining us, Regina's own, down south somewhere. How'd the round go, Sully? Do you want to give us a hole-by-hole account?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
Good.
I'm gonna give you a hole. I won't give you a hole by hole. I just want a little cash, Barney. That's all.
Yeah, you're peeled.
You got to make the rate bet. You can't. I had Notre Dame today, so.
Oh, did you?
Go. Yeah.
Yeah. Game's not over. Game's not over.
The sun's
not over.
The sun always shines on Silly. It does,
doesn't it?
It's sun always.
I wasn't very good today. Shot 80, but that's where I am.
You still probably won money though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, for Sharky, I birdied 18. That's what I do.
Yeah, and then got some sort of putting competition going after.
Got lucky. Yeah, we did. Oh yeah. Lucky that too.
So you've been keeping tabs, been watching the World Juniors this year, Mike?
I have. Yeah, I didn't watch the game New Year's Eve. I was at Cole's game. We were in Columbus the last 3 weeks, so I didn't watch the game versus USA. But I watched the other ones.
What did you think? What do you think when a country like Latvia, and they gave Sweden all they could handle today too? You would have been golfing, didn't watch it. Outshot again, but they lose by 1 goal. They're right there to possibly tie it up at the end. Like a country like Latvia that's come on, and just now where this tournament is, there is a little more parity. Obviously, we were going to get there, but it's exciting to see these countries, step up and give the powers a run.
Yeah, for sure it is, and I think the big thing with again, you talk about Latvia, what happened there, but it hasn't happened for 20 plus years. Their goalie was great. Not that ours wasn't. Our goalie was great too. It's just the shootout goes. We have 8-9 shooters and don't score a goal. So the team this year's having a tough time scoring goals, and hopefully they break out tonight.
The coach, Dave Cameron, he says the discipline thing. He mentioned how these guys.
Yeah.
What's that?
Penalties, yeah.
Yeah, like would you be thinking that maybe it's a move that some of these guys should maybe not go on the PP, maybe ride a little bit of pine, or is, like he said, the tournament too short? They know right from wrong. You just got to trust that they're going to get out of it.
Sorry, guys, they're cutting out here.
Sorry, I'm asking about Coach Dave Cameron saying how the players know that they're taking the penalties, and he's not going to bench guys because the tournament is too short. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I do. You just can't do it. But again, I think I was watching TSN. I watch the commentators, and O'Neill said it best. They got to leave the junior at the junior. They can't be trying to be physical and tough and this and that. That's not the tournament. That you have to sometimes bite the bullet, and you can't take dumb penalties. And I think that at times, again, it's not that I don't think all the penalties were dumb, but if it's a too hard of a hit, it's a penalty. If it's in the numbers and it's maybe from the side, that's what we're doing. We're just playing. We're not playing smart, and that's what we have to do here if we're going to win the gold medal.
Mike, interesting you say that about playing smart, because I think that's actually some of the mistakes they've made is they've made bad decisions, whether with the puck, without the puck, taking a check. But I want to go back to when you played, because it was a very special time, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of that group, although you guys didn't see me because I was away doing other stuff. There's got to be a favorite memory for you of 91 with the tournament back here in Saskatchewan. Is there something that really stands out for you you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, I was really lucky. I was the only Saskatchewan boy in the team. At the time, I think Scotty Sissons probably should have made the team as well. So we would have had 2 Saskatchewan boys, but just having a chance to represent Team Canada in Regina, my hometown. I don't even remember who we played, but it's all kind of a blur. But just playing in Regina and having that flag on, and just having a chance to represent Canada, and obviously winning the gold medal. But we kind of got lucky that year. We kind of slid in the back door and and got some help with other teams. But we beat who we had to beat. We were that last 5 minutes of that game felt like it was a whole period. It felt like it was 20 minutes.
You guys beat Sweden. You beat Sweden in Regina.
No, Russia. We beat Sweden in Regina?
Yeah, 7-4. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had a couple too, Barney. Did I not have a couple?
Did you? Oh, just like the Monday Nooner skate, eh?
I was waiting for you to say that.
You had the one story.
Threw the fish hook out there.
Yeah, you knew the one story you told on the Monday Nooner when we talked about the World Juniors. It was funny. Is the parents in Saskatoon and how your dad showed up. I think it was Carl Lindros that kind of said, I think you might be in the wrong section, sir.
Yeah. So all the parents, when they arrived at the airport, they got the Team Canada coats and the scarves and the hats and everything. So my parents drove in from Regina, and, my dad's sitting there watching warm-up and everything. And, yeah, Mr. Big Carl Lindros comes up to my dad and goes, "Hey, I think you're in the wrong section." He's like, "Bob Sillinger, nice to meet you." and he just was like, "Oh, yeah." So it was kind of funny, but yeah.
That was a big.
Bob, my dad will be laughing up top at that one.
Yeah. He will.
Go ahead.
So characters on that team, and I do remember some of them because of obviously some of the media that followed you around due to Lindros and others. But who was a character on that team that you remember that was pretty special and helped keep the glue together?
We just had a good, hard work, and we had a lot of, every year they have top draft picks. Greg Johnson, again, God bless him. He's up top as well. He was one of the key factors. Chris Draper played in Detroit. Mario Lapointe. We had Lindros's line was dynamic. I kind of played so-called check and roll, and got to kill penalties and whatnot, and I got lots of minutes based on everyone has to find a role, right? And I think that's what has to happen with Team Canada now, is that you score, you do this. Every kid that's there scores goals. Like wherever they play, they score goals. So now you have to buckle down and be good defensively, and now they're not good offensively. So now everyone's trying to do too much. So our team, it just was one of those things where, we had big Eric Lindros, and he was the go-to guy. So, they keep talking about this on TSN as well. There's really no go-to guy this year. They're a hard-working team. They got a lot of good players, a lot of good skill. We knew that, Eric was the guy. So, when I said we got lucky, we got backdoored based on I think with Russia had to lose or tie. I think it was tie. They ended up tying. We were watching the game in the hotel room. We were down in the lobby, and when that tie happened, we knew we had a chance, and it was a special moment. So having to play that game for the gold was amazing, and again, we had the first team to win it on home soil, which was fantastic.
It was amazing. When you talk about a guy like yourself who absolutely was tearing up the Western League. You were a Detroit draft pick already. You actually played some games with Detroit that year. Was it like, how did you learn to play I want to say not learn to play the other side of the ice, because you said guys have to do that. Yeah. But nowadays, we got Cole with your boy Cole and all that. There's so many advisors around these kids at young ages. For you, who helped you to say, hey, Mike, we're going to need you to play this role, because this is probably what you're going to have to do when you get to the next level at the NHL? Like, who are the people that were instrumental in that part of your career, Mike?
Just still my coaches all the way through. Like when I was in Detroit, again, I played with Steve Yzerman and Dino Cicerelli, Ray Shepard, Paul Coffey, Mike Vernon. Like all these guys are, Hall of Famers and were great leaders. And you look at Stevie Y, he had to change his game. It's not a points. If you want to win, you get your 80, 90 points and learn how to play defense. And all defense is hard work. And I think, if you have the brains and the hockey sense, it's, again, you can't teach smart, but you can learn how to play defense. And all these kids now, they all figure it out. And, again, you talk about Cole, that's what's happening right now. These young kids in Columbus, like, you want to get on the ice, playing 20 minutes a night, whatever, 18, 20 minutes a night, based on being good defensively. And it's just something that, again, I wanted to be on the ice. I didn't want to, I took face-offs. You sit there and you go, like, how am I going to get in the ice? Like, I'm offensively this and this and this, but you know what? You're not that good. Like 50 goals in the Western Hockey League was 50 goals. You know, I had whatever, and you get to the next level, you just have to find a way to get in the ice. And you know, I didn't want to sit in the bench. I wanted to play. And that's what the guys do. Is you have to bite the bullet and find your role. So it's just something that's a big reason why I bounced around. I got to go to different teams and, you know, fit a playoff role and basically be a face-off guy and be a PK guy. So it was just something I had a knack for being good in face-offs, and you know that's what got me on the ice. So and not that I couldn't score. You know, I think I had 3 or 4 20-goal seasons. I had a 30-goal season. You know, I had a chance to produce, but that only come after I had after the coach just said, "Hey, this is how you're going to get in the ice. You got to be good defensively."
So, Mike, it's interesting. It's interesting you brought that up about, you know, being traded and being moved at the deadline and getting those opportunities to play, because you did bring value. Is there one of those trades that really stands out for you as kind of a favorite, as an opportunity that you didn't see coming that worked out great, or is there one that you go, "Oh man, I wish we hadn't done that one"?
You know, I when I went from Anaheim to Vancouver, I think I had close to about 400 games in the league. I was 300 plus. And put on waivers. So here I am, almost a 400-game guy, you know, 6-7 years in the league, and got put on waivers thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to go to the minors. Like I'm done." You know, and again, it was all about numbers and putting guys in waivers so other teams can pick you. You know, it's a business. So that's what happened. And they said, "You're not going to go down to the minors." And then you had to leave them. So I thought I was leaving the next day. Someone got hurt on the team, and then
he's kind of cutting out a bit.
You know, I got put. Yeah. Sorry, am I cutting out?
Yeah, you're cutting out a bit, Mike.
No, that's good though. Like to say, like that's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't realize you ever got put on waivers.
Yeah, I got put on waivers, and it was one of those things. It was a transaction based on numbers. And, you know, I'm sitting there, my wife and I are, you know, Carl and I are sitting there going like, I might be going down. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't, you know, Owen was just born. It's 19. Owen was just born, and we're sitting there going like, I'm, you know, almost a 400-game guy, and I'm going back down. I'm going to the minors, which would never happen nowadays, right? The kids, you know, they play and they get a certain amount of games, and they're pretty much set for as long as they, you know, a lot has to happen for them to do that. But anyways, yeah, I had one of my best years based on having my back against the wall and fit a role there. Again, fit a role as far as a PK guy and you know, face-off guy, and just again accepting that, hey, I wasn't going to play ahead of Bury, McGillney, Linden, right? It just the way it is, and I had you know, two great years there in Vancouver, and moved on and played another 10 years. So
wow,
it was one of those things. Yeah, just, you know, yeah, it was lucky, but again, you have to, when your back's against the wall, you have to find a way.
Yeah, before we let you go, I got to ask you about Cole and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, following it close, and you've been to a number of games. Are they going to squeeze into the playoffs, Mike? And are they going to do the old, you know, an 8 always beats a 1, as Mike Sillinger says?
Yeah, 8 always beats a 1. But I don't know what's going to happen there as far as the playoffs. They're 500 right now. They're playing good hockey. You know, Monaham's, let's face it, they start the year with this tragedy, and you know, it's awful. And Monaham's, you know, Johnny Hockey's best friend, and you know, he's had a tough start and the whole deal, but not on the ice. Just a tough start away from everything. He's having a great year. He's their go-to guy, you know, captain, leader. The team, you know, struggles a bit on the road, I think, based on matching lines and whatnot. But yeah, all the young kids are playing. I think they're going to be a really good hockey club in the next year, you know, couple of years. As far as making the playoffs, who knows? You know, it's a tough division. You know, you just can't play 500 hockey. You have to be above. But hey, they're in the mix. They're in the mix. They're all these young kids are playing well. You know, they're juggling their goaltending around. You know, they got lots of different situations back there, and I think you know, they got a couple defensemen that are out, and it gives the young guys a chance. It's Matejchuk that played in Moose Jaw last year. He's amazing. Like, he played with you know, his first 20 games in the minors. You know, this kid's a point a game guy as a defenseman. just leads the charge. Really good in power play, great first pass, smart, good defensively. Like he's going to be a real good player. So, yeah, I just think they have a lot of good young guys in the organization, and you need a guy like their captain Boone. He got hurt, and good Branson. Like they got a whole NHL line out of the lineup, and they're hanging in there. So, yeah, I think they're going to be a good team, and they'll definitely have a chance.
Right on, the old 8 versus a 1.
Yeah, you got it. You're going to put some money on it. I know you are.
Hey,
yeah.
I don't know if you're watching, but Georgia just scored, baby. They closed the gap.
I'm not watching.
20.
I'm talking to you.
20 to 10.
Talking to you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for taking some time today, Silly.
Happy New Year, Silly.
No problem.
Right on.
Same to you guys.
Cheers.
Take care, guys.
Mike Sillinger joining us, 1991 World Junior Team. Yeah, and that was the thing, right? Like I remember Saskatoon guy. He was solid, but he had to play a different role on that team. It's like a lot of those guys.
He did. He really had to play a different role. Yeah, and he did it very, very well. I believe Sillinger was on the ice for the winning goal. I believe he was on the ice.
Go back and we should ask him that.
I meant to, and it was on my list, but
that's all right.
Yeah, he was there. Played a big part with that team, no doubt about it.
It's time for a quick break here. I'll keep the World Junior betting talk and World Junior talk in general going. It's your all new Sportscage. We're over 1,000 on YouTube. You can still hammer it. Shout out Aiden, who's picked it up in Fort McMurray, Alberta.
Love it.
Now watching the program.
Love
it. The Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. One full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
At Freeze Tallman, we know that you have a lot of options when it comes to purchasing lumber and other building materials. We'd like to take this time to thank you for choosing us to supply your building materials for over 65 years. We're proud to have been a part of turning your plans into reality. So for all of your upcoming projects, see Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. Let's get you building.
Have you been out to the new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer? That's Southie Mainline Chrysler, the newest king of trucks, just 30 minutes north of Regina. They're the small town feel with bigger than city discounts where customers show up and leave feeling like family. With the selection of the entire Mainline Automotive Group, it will be tough for them not to find you your perfect vehicle at the best price in Saskatchewan. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes from Regina. It's worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sports Cage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Missed this one on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line a little while ago. It was... we talked about at the beginning. This is hour one of the show. That we went through that Maddox Schultz was the tournament MVP at the Max tournament, Circle K.
Unbelievable. As a 14-year-old.
14-year-old.
It's an underage. Yeah.
People that are in the hockey circle will get it. Just how amazing it is. And we kind of went through guys that have made or players that have made the All-Star team in the past. And the one that we came on was Turner Ripplinger.
Yes.
Pat Canadians back in whatever year that was made the All-Star team, and now a proud Southie Marlin, just like his father was. Out there grinding away in the league.
Nice to have Turner back in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Leonard is saying the gap is closing, baby. Georgia coming back. I know we're watching that. Roscoe up in K-Town in Kindersley. He says he's excited that I'm coming to town. It's a brief stop, and it's going to be minus. He's setting up a salon for his wife.
You could use a haircut.
No way. No haircuts in the winter. And then the Red Lion for Chinese food. Oh,
is that a good stop for you?
Yeah. That'd be a good spot. 936-6262, Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. If you ever want to get in on the chatter as well, it is 20-10, 8 minutes left-ish in the third quarter. Georgia and Notre Dame. Notre Dame leads. Tonight, Canada and the Czech Republic. Czechia.
Not an N. Czechia.
Gotta hit the net.
You know what?
Just ground and pound, old school.
We get 10 goals in 4 games. Like, no Canadian player has more than 1 goal. That's clearly been the problem. We can talk about the penalties. The penalties are only glaring because we're not scoring any goals. Right?
That's true. That's true.
If we're up 5-1 and we take a penalty, nobody's as concerned as when we're down 3-0 and we take a penalty, or down 3-1.
The other thing that I'm noticing too, and I maybe saw it a bit with Braden Yeager, and then this is just an observation as some pigeon watching on my couch and hanging out, is they are, and especially a guy like Yeager, right? There's a lot of pressure for the captain as well.
Yep.
And there's a second-year guy on this saying, gripping it really tight. And you know that coaching hockey, being around hockey, it is a thing.
It is.
It's just when things aren't working and then there's some pressure, you just kind of grip it too tight. You don't got that mojo.
You make a mistake out of extra effort. You're trying to do more than you should do. That before something came natural to you, you moved the puck easy, you shot it easy, and now you're trying to do more than you should, and it's causing you trouble. So that part of that is just unwinding. That part of that is getting the first goal, getting the lead, playing with the lead, getting out in front, being able to play the game the way you want to, rather than being forced to play how they bring it to you.
This is one of the craziest things that I was thinking about the other day, if hockey will ever get to this. Okay, follow me here, and you're going to think I'm an absolute rube on this one.
You've got some oddballs out there, but go ahead.
Okay, so there's so many things are data and analytics in sports. And there is a place for
some of
data and analytics.
Yep.
For sure there is. So is there ever going to be a time or a team, let's say a team is anemic on the power play.
Okay.
So let's say when you're on the power play, you have, what's a decent power play percentage these days?
If you're running over 15%, you're good, right?
Okay, so let's say that you, on the power play, you're half the season's done, and you are at like 10% or 9% power play. Okay? But you've played 4-on-4 hockey a number of times. There's enough sample size. And when it's 4-on-4, you seem to score at 30-40%.
Okay. I get where you're going.
Maybe there's more ice. Maybe there's something that's just different. Will there ever be a time where a team almost doesn't defer, but as soon as they get a power play, they take one so they can play 4-on-4 because the data says we have a better chance of scoring 4-on-4?
So what you're saying is the Patrick Waugh move to pull his goalie with the face-off on his own end because they were shorthanded, could ice the puck right away and go get it, is an example.
I didn't even see that. I don't even know where you're coming from on that one.
So Patrick Waugh, they were down 3-1.
Like recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other night, face-offs in his end.
Down 3-1.
And they're shorthanded.
Yeah.
And a face-off's in their zone.
If they're shorthanded, it doesn't matter if you ice it.
That's right. So what he did was he pulled his goalie and put his fifth skater out there thinking that they would get the puck and they could ice it and go get it. Instead, they lost the draw and they shot it in the empty net, and it's now 4-1.
Well, I think the data would show that an offensive zone face-off with no goalie, that's a high probability of the other team scoring.
Bad result. Yes.
Yes.
So I don't disagree with you with the thought process of we're better 4-on-4.
No, I'm not saying we are here. I'm not saying we are. I'm just saying I just got to thinking because I sometimes have weird thoughts. Surprise. And I was just like, will it ever happen?
But even the 3-on-3, right, of the overtime, and what does that do to the way you play? Right now, it's a game of keep away. It's keep away for the perfect shot.
very similar.
Is very similar, right? Is getting there. So if you're better 4-on-4, do you immediately slash some guy's stick and take a minor?
I was going to say, or you just take a delay a game as a coach.
Like the US
I want you to just give us a penalty, a delay a game. Boom, there we go. Now we're 4-4. And for some reason, the data shows, if you have it, that says we have a better chance of scoring for some reason.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, I know it's not bad. It's weird, but it's...
No, it's the different way to think about it, right? Now, also, you should be better 5-on-4, so work on your power play to see what you can do better with it, right? Oftentimes, guys try to overcomplicate the power play. Just make it simple.
You know what I thought that teams should do? Guys in Bethune, I was playing senior. Maybe it was a few Bohemian one night or whatever it was. And I said, you know what? The thing we should do when you're down a goal and, your defenseman just gets the puck in their own zone and just rims it. Right? So that's okay. You're in. Follow me.
I'm got you.
Defenseman behind the net. You just rim it.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be icing. But if you send it towards where the benches are, and the last guy that changed just drops his stick, that rim comes, and if your forward knows, it's going to hit the stick, bounce right into the middle of it. But that defenseman's just going to think it's icing. He's not going to move. And it's going to hit the stick, and your guy's gone for a breakaway.
What do you think the officials are going to do with that?
Thought the stick was broken, had to drop it. Officials can't do anything. That's how this noodle works, man.
You first off, get some sleep. That I don't think is a legitimate conversation to have. I think you do that once, somebody's going to call you on it.
But all you might need is to do it once and benefit. Did I ever tell you that when our goalie... we're going into the vault now, buddy.
You're digging deep.
When our goalie, for an adult safe A division game, slept in. That adult safe A division was legit.
It was pretty. It was good hockey.
It was good hockey.
Yep.
So we're playing the final, and it was at the Twins. So I've only lived in Regina 2-3 years at this point. And our goalie doesn't show. We're like, what is going on here? Where's Louis? Kind of, probably, maybe he's not calling. Nothing. We're like, what? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is the A final. I think it was game 2.
Yeah,
game 2. So we win and it's over. Lose and we got to play game 3. It was a good team that we're playing against. And we're like, well, okay. So there's this on the other sheet, and we're talking like D-E division. There's this older gentleman, and he had a tuxedo-style jersey. Like this, so you know right away. This guy's kind of serious about the game, but he's not super serious about the game.
Because he's got a tuxedo jersey.
We're like, we might need you to kick for us for a bit. We can't get a hold of him. So the guys are working the phones hard, trying to figure out. Finally, they get a hold of him. He was sleeping. And he's got, it's, 10 minutes from the rink he lives, and we are on in 15 or 12 or close. Well, I went the other way, and I'm like, how do I delay this game? I have to figure out a way to delay this game. So, I don't know if I should be telling this on the air, to be honest.
What'd you break?
No. I went and hid the pegs to the one net, so they couldn't peg the net in.
I thought maybe you just would have went and pushed one of the pieces of glass out or something.
No.
Hid the pegs to the net. Did he show up in time then?
Almost. Tuxie. We called him Tuxie because he had the tuxedo jersey. Tuxie had to come in and kick for a few minutes while he was getting dressed because they ended up finding him. I didn't put him in my own personal possession. I hit him where I'm like, if they find him, they're going to know that they're there. And
they found him.
But it bought us, I bet you it bought us close to 10 minutes.
Kids at home, do not do what Barney's doing or what he's saying right now.
Why not?
Do not hide the pegs.
You got to think. It's a thinking man's life out there, kids.
Push out a piece of glass so that it breaks.
Oh, yeah. Don't be pushing out pieces of glass and it falls on you or your friend. Then you're in big trouble.
It might break and there's not a spare one in the rink.
Don't listen to Shark push out
Bad
glass.
Bad idea. Sorry.
Pushing out glass.
Sorry.
It's still 20-10. It's going to be interesting this evening between Canada and the Czechs. 12 games in the National Hockey League tonight. Canadian teams. Utah is in Calgary to take on the Flames. I've never been a Flames fan, but I'm just rooting. They're that greasy, no reason to be winning
Shouldn't
games
be
team.
there, yeah.
That Dustin Wolf is tiny, and he's such a good
and he's winning for him. Yeah.
Story. So Utah's in Calgary. Vancouver travels to Seattle. Toronto.
Did they got to take 2 planes to get everybody down there because they don't like each other?
Yeah. How do you deal with that mess? And Tocchet's trying to put on a good face about it.
It's which guy goes.
They can't coexist ever again.
Do you want the guy that's upset because somebody's calling him out or the guy that's calling him out?
I'd get rid of
Patterson. That's where I am too. If some guy's upset because he's getting told that he's soft, and he is, let him go play somewhere else. But don't trade him for Zegras. Do not make that deal for Zegras. Zegras is terrible. It might be worse.
He needs a different look somewhere, though. I'm really interested to see him play hockey somewhere else.
Who, Zegras or Patterson?
Zegras.
He just needs to grow up. I think it's a maturity issue with him.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
And playing in Anaheim, like that'd be awesome. I
know he's got the right attitude to play tough in a place like that.
Toronto and the Islanders. Winnipeg welcomes the Anaheim Ducks. Ottawa, Dallas. Those are your Canadian teams in action.
Are the Rangers playing tonight?
In the NHL. Those are the Canadian
I'm looking
teams.
to see what disaster New York is today. Now another guy's called out, Laviolette.
Yeah, Bruins are in MSG.
Yeah.
Another guy did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good... The Ranger dressing room's not a happy place. Nobody's pleased with what's going on in New York. And Peter Laviolette does have a shelf life, and I think the expiry date has come about.
Laviolette.
That
was your first butcher of the day.
Yeah.
Name-wise.
I was at least able to correct it.
Yeah, it's 11-1 for me. Saskatoon Blades made a trade today. They traded 20-year-old Brandon Lazowski to the Victoria Royals in exchange for a 20-year-old Tanner Scott. They also pick up a 2025 second-round pick and a 2026 second-round pick. They gave a fifth-rounder in 2028. Yeah, because they're trying to get some picks back now.
They
Saskatoon.
are. They need to get some. They need to get some stuff in the cupboard.
And I said we're gonna have John Keane on the show tomorrow. A little WHL insider action, but I don't know who's got a lot of picks there, and I'm sure there are some teams, but in that Western Conference where it is going to be just a dandy of a postseason. Like, what does Everett still have? Do they have something in there? Are they going to load up?
Yeah.
Prince George, I heard they're sniffing around. Spokane Chiefs, Berkeley Catton, get him some help. Maybe you don't even have Berkeley next year. Victoria.
I still think Berkeley's going to go back for another year. Victoria loaded up, made their moves.
Yeah,
they've
Victoria's
added 2
got some good big picks.
Yeah.
And then the other one I heard that's trying to get is Tri-City, because you look after Everett, who's kind of been the class of the league, 59 points. Prince George has 47. And the sixth place Tri-City Americans, there's only 6 points separating
41,
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is going to be great. And then the Central Division, like we talked about, no joke.
Medicine, Calgary, Lethbridge, Edmonton.
Well, is Edmonton going to do anything? Swifties had a heck of a run. Right now it would be Med Hat. If it's 1 versus 8.
It's Medicine Hat and Swifty. Yeah.
Like that'd be great hockey. Eastern Conference joked about it in hour 1. You kind of like flip the breaker and take the ice out. Because it's not the year for the Eastern Conference teams.
No.
And then just a joke. It is just a joke. Everybody in PA and Swifty. We want to watch Swifters would be a good place to go watch a little playoff hockey.
It would.
For us.
You know what? That if PA Lethbridge were to play in the first round, that's not a gimme for anybody. That's a 7-gamer.
Anholt going back to PA.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a great match. And PA's grindy.
Even you look at this in the East. I mean, Medicine Hat's got 21 wins. Swift Current's got 18. Like, nobody's running away from anybody in the East. If that's 1-8, right?
That's a good point.
Nobody's running away. So it's not even, what have we got? 7 points between Swift Current and Medicine Hat, 1-8. That's not very much. There's a lot of hockey to play yet.
It's just too bad that between, selfishly where we are here, we got spoiled last year with Moose Jaw being a half hour for me to take the kids to go watch that experience and what they did. And they bought all in, and it was awesome watching them play the Blades. And it was kind of like, well, I like the Blades because it's kind of grew up with it and never won, but also really like the Ripplingers and Moose Jaw. Again. And Moose Jaw, pulled it out, and then they played Portland. That was such good hockey.
It was great to watch. It was great.
So good live.
So happy for Moose Jaw.
Yeah. It was awesome. Someday Saskatoon's, it's going to happen up there. And it will be a big deal, and it should be a big deal.
It should be a big deal. Yeah.
Just snake bitten. But Calgary, Lethbridge, Medhat, I'd like to see Swifty. Just ever love everything about Swift.
There's, like I say, there's only 7 points between 1 and 8. That's not much at this with halfway through the season. There's a lot of hockey to be played and a lot of opportunity to move up in the standings. Nothing's a gimme in the East. In the West, it's a little more of a foregone conclusion who's not going to make it. But in the East, there's still a chance for everybody except for Moose Jaw and Regina. They've fallen behind.
Yeah, they're rebuild time, obviously,
and doing it right. Both clubs are doing it right. They got veteran general managers.
Yeah.
And they're both going, okay, let's get rid of the assets. Let's get some young guys. Let's get some picks and get ourselves built back up. So give them both credit. And if you're a fan of either of those two teams, don't give up now because you're going to want to come back later when they're back on top.
You will. It is the all-new Sportscage. Streaming, we have over 1,000 on YouTube and sportscage.com. We're also on Twitter there. We're doing well there. And we are on the old trusty 620 CKRM.
At Freeze Tallman, we know that you have a lot of options when it comes to purchasing lumber and other building materials. We'd like to take this time to thank you for choosing us to supply your building materials for over 65 years. We're proud to have been a part of turning your plans into reality. So for all of your upcoming projects, see Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. Let's get you building.
Grow bold with the Fendt Ideal 10 Combine, available at Nick's Service. The Fendt Ideal 10 offers 790 horsepower and features the same Fendt ID engine speed concept made popular in the lineup of tractors. This means maximum horsepower and torque are achieved at lower RPMs, giving you tremendous fuel efficiency. With a 485 bushel grain tank capable of unloading at 6 bushels per second, turn downtime into dust with the Fendt Ideal 10 Combine. See one today at Nick's Service in Emerald Park.
Here at Home Hardware's Bring the New Year home sale, everyone's saving on everything they need to give their home a new look. Like giving their bathroom a facelift with up to $150 off mirror and tub and shower units. Or bringing their living room to life with 25% off select Beauty Tone designer paint. In fact, my Midnight Flora is almost done mixing. Thank you. Earn and redeem Scene Plus points during the Bring the New Year home sale. On now at Home Hardware and Building Centers.
All-new Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
At the World Juniors, currently on the ice right now, Finland 4-1.
Yes.
Up on the Slovaks.
Yep. In the second period.
Looks like they will advance. Like we said, college football playoffs. It's still 20-10. Notre Dame on top of Georgia. A slight little upset possibly there. Looking for some updates. They're on the ice at the World Mix Curling Championships at the Saskatchewan's Ryland Kleider and teammate Tran up against Weigel and Epping on the ice currently. We're trying to get it. We found some audio. If you're just joining us, Saskatoon Blades made that trade today. Brennan Luzowski. General Manager Colin Priestner was asked about Tanner Molendyk.
This year it's weird to be in a position of having success but also needing to replenish our charts here, replenish our picks. And so Tanner is, in my opinion, he's the best defenseman in Canada. I think that's being borne out by the fact that he's leading the World Juniors in minutes for Team Canada, and he's one of the best D the Blades will ever have. obviously we're listening to offers on him. Like, we would be foolish not to in the situation we're in. He's the kind of guy that could yield you multiple good assets. That being said, like, if the market's soft and nobody wants to step up, then like we are in first place. There's no urgency to do anything, but I think, we're actively talking to a lot of different teams about him who wouldn't want that guy.
Oh, yeah. Someone's going to want that guy.
Big time.
Someone is definitely going to want that. Don't get too comfy when you get back and unpack.
Yeah.
No, and it's better for him.
It's better for the Blades.
Better for the Blades and for the team that he's going to.
That's right.
And it's better for hockey as they continue to make some deals. Really curious on what happens in the SJHL after talking to Benny with players, 20-year-olds being released.
There's going to be some movement. There's going to be some guys show up in some new places. That's for sure. And they should look at it as a great opportunity now, right? Because the NCAA thing hasn't gone away for them. They can still look at all their college options, whether they want to play U Sports or NCAA. So I think it's a great chance for them to shine.
You can host your team fundraiser at the Canadian Brew House for a chance to win $2,500. Tons of options to choose from. Canadian Brew House can help you raise the funds for your crew. Details online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Are you ready for the obscure story of the day?
I think didn't we have it with the hiding of the pegs?
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was actually pretty good. I would have never thought to do that. That I'm going to give you credit for that. No. The second goalie for the U.S., a young kid by the name of Slakinski, his dad played 3 years at the U of R.
What?
Was a Q Park Canuck and a Yorkton Terrier. Tim Slakinski. Great guy. He married a girl from War Road, Minnesota, and settled down in the States. And his son's on Team U.S. at the World Juniors.
How did he meet the girl from War Road? Because they were a senior hockey.
I don't even want to talk about that. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that place.
Sorry, bud.
It's my own fault for bringing it up. And the crazy part is, she was the granddaughter of the guy that ran that team down at War Road.
Oh, that's I know the names.
Yeah,
great people. I did that one podcast on.
Yeah.
On War Road.
Slakinski invited me to the wedding, and I said, there's no way in hell I'm going to that wedding. Pardon my language, people.
One thing...
Punch out her grandfather at the wedding.
Since we've been doing this show, the one thing, I am very spiteful.
Okay.
Takes a lot, but I love it. You have a list. You have a laundry list of people you don't care to talk to, places you don't care to go.
Yep.
And you stand packed with it.
Once you're on the list, you're on the list. You don't come off.
I got a list too. I don't think it's as near as long as yours. Try to find the Cal Marvin.
Cal Marvin.
The Marvins. Yeah, he was the head coach.
You're right. Well, it was the old guy.
Cal Marvin. Calvin Marvin.
Yeah. I'm not sure
Started the War Road Lakers.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to the wedding.
No, wouldn't go. Sorry, Timmy. Sorry, Tim. And
it's supposed to be a beautiful country down there.
We weren't there very long. Another obscure U of R alumni doing something pretty cool. Corey Herman is part of the NHL's team that builds the ice for the outdoor games. So Corey Herman, originally from Duval, Saskatchewan, played for the LeBret Eagles and came to U of R. Went down to El Paso afterwards to play in that Western Professional League. Ended up becoming the coach of the junior team, the El Paso Buzzards. I believe he still owns the team, as a matter of fact, in El Paso. And he's on the NHL ice crew. He helps build those outdoor rinks wherever they play.
How would he get into the ice crew thing?
I have no idea how he got there. But, Hermie is down there building. Well, he would have been in Chicago, building the ice for the outdoor game in Chicago.
I really wanted to go, and I know some people, outdoor classics have kind of jumped the shark. That was because I've never been to Wrigley.
And that would be pretty cool to go see. Yeah,
would I like to go to a baseball game at Wrigley? Yeah, I would not say no, but I would like to go to like something else at Wrigley, like a concert or an outdoor game.
That would have been very, very neat to be the outdoor.
Do you know
game.
what they have in Chicago? I showed the wife this the other day. You can maybe pull it up quickly.
Where are you going?
So they got the river that runs through. Right?
Yes,
whatever. Yeah. I love when they turn it green at St. Patrick's Day. I think it's so cool. You can rent in Chicago floating hot tubs.
That I haven't seen.
So you pay. It's got a little motor. It's like a motorboat,
and you
but
drive
a hot
up
tub.
the river.
Up the cocktails.
Of course.
I swear I saw it on. Might have been on the gram. Something, and I was like,
I've been to Chicago twice. I did not see that.
I think it's fairly new. God bless the USA. Very dangerous.
Yeah,
but awesome.
You got to be a form you got to sign off.
If you're watching the stream, Colson might have something
Colson's
here for
digging
you.
it up.
See, I'm glad that I wasn't off my rocker when I saw it. That it is something legit. So it's a floating hot tub boat-ish thing. And you just sit there with your party and
go down the river.
Drink some cocktails. Oh, here it is. There, look at that. On the stream. If you're watching the stream.
If you're watching the stream, that is the next thing we're doing. Going back to Chicago, getting a hot tub.
Sportscage trip. We're not going to the NASCAR in Phoenix.
Nope.
We're going to the hot tub races down the river in Chicago.
Remarkably, there's a NASCAR race in Chicago too. We could go to that as well. Yeah.
I like the Phoenix option though.
I do too. I'd really like to go. If I got to pick the next track I'm going to, Talladega.
Yeah, well,
I want to go to the Super Speedway.
That's popular, famous, song written about it.
Yeah. It's one of the big super speedway tracks, 33-degree bank, 4 wide. Yeah, 200 miles an hour.
What that means.
It just means it's fast. It smells like burning rubber. Can't wait.
Is there a lot of rubbing?
There's a lot of rubbing in Talladega. A lot of rubbing. Rubbin's racing, baby.
Haven't heard from old Crofty since the NASCAR report is.
He was in Texas, as a matter of fact, for the holidays, visiting family. Parents are down there and some cousins, and returned yesterday.
He's not from there. They just bought a retirement property?
Yeah, they just got some place to hang out down there. Yeah.
Is it in, what's that area of Texas called south there by the...
Galveston. It's down that way. Yeah.
Galveston, oh, Galveston. Is that Glen Campbell?
That is Glen Campbell. Nice work.
No, I'm thinking of the other, what's it called?
El Paso?
No, it's...
There's not a Pasadena in Texas.
Colson just threw out Pasadena. Are you geographically challenged like my wife?
Not at all. I'm actually pretty good at it.
No, it's
where are you going?
Texas, South Texas.
San
Pedro Island.
San Pedro Island. San Padre, San Pedro. Yeah. Which is off of Galveston.
Is it?
Yeah.
But is Galveston where all the cruise ships?
Yeah, it's way down in the port.
Because we went to Houston and we were talking to the guy and he's like, yeah, it's super busy with the cruise ships.
Yes.
They go in and out of there. Yeah, look at this. See, you learn so much.
It's an entertainment and educational show.
And educational. Okay, so we talked a lot about 1991, Canada World Juniors today. It was a lot of fun. You can go back and listen to the podcast and all the guests that we had. Glen Suitor was in hour 2. Good chat there about the CFL, SJHL report with Benny Walchuk. And then Mike Sillinger, who played in the 91 World Juniors, joined us. We talked about that and the current affairs in the NHL and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And educational issues otherwise.
And he won.
Some grammatical errors.
He made a birdie on 18.
Made a birdie on 18 today to scoop a little cash.
In the till, as they say, as Silly said. It's in the till. Yeah, that guy likes to sprinkle hard on everything. And he's got, who did you say? He's got Notre Dame 23-10. I'm screwed in this bet. 13 points now. Only 13 minutes left.
You got some work to do.
Double down on the Canada game.
Get your pizza. Go home and get your Western pizza. Cheer hard.
I think it might be Western pizza time. There is no business me cooking. Always a pleasure.
It is a blast.
Thanks for bringing in the jacket.
I like the props.
1991 World Junior jacket Sharky brought in.
Too. Yeah.
And his hat and scarf.
And scarf.
I'm going to have to borrow that sometime for some. It's just awesome. And you've taken really good care of it.
It's 34 years old.
You spilled ketchup on it. Today. If you missed that story, he's on his way here. He thought he'd pick up a cheeseburger. It's a white jacket, and he spilled ketchup on it. Luckily, we have a lady here that helped him get the ketchup stain out.
I'm so embarrassed.
It's out, though.
I'll be going to the cleaners tomorrow.
Yeah, don't drink any coffee or anything.
No.
With that thing on your way home. Colson, good job. Alan, good job. Back tomorrow. Special guest host tomorrow will be Brian Munns.
Oh.
For all you Munnsy fans out there. So, and Darren Dreger's going to join the show. We will have Arash Madani and more. Go Canada, go. We'll talk to you again in roughly 21 hours.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday season? Look no further. The Pats holiday ticket packs are here.
Get your crew together for the ultimate hockey experience at unbelievable prices, starting as low as $17.75 per ticket before taxes and fees. Whether it's a buddy pack for 2, a family pack for 4, or a family pack for 6, there's something for every hockey fan in your life. Valid for the rest of the 24-25 regular season home games. But hurry, this deal ends January 6th. Get your Pats holiday pack today at reginapats.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling wants you to ignore their water heaters. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Because when you rent your water heater from Bronco, they take care of all the maintenance. Their professional staff will come to your home, handle the service at no additional charge, and then you're free to think about anything you want while you take a nice, long, hot shower. Water heater and water softener rentals from Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call 781-2090 or visit broncoplumbing.com. They'll treat you right.
Olympic Buildings is looking for post-frame building crews to construct their post-frame buildings. This can be from any part of the province, and they'll pay better than industry average. To talk about getting your company to construct their buildings, visit olympic-buildings.ca.
It's 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News. Law enforcement officials say the person who died in the explosion of a Tesla Cybertruck packed with explosives outside Donald Trump's Las Vegas hotel was an active duty U.S.